So you can see there that Nathan Burke won the toss. He had no hesitation in kicking to the main scoreboard end here at Waverley. And the game about to start between St Kilda and the Magpies, and Russell, we have established the change.
Yeah, Collingwood have left out Robert Pyman. Not too sure whether it's injury, Robbo, or just out of favour for Paul Sharkey, number 30 for Collingwood.
Buckley, a high kick towards centre-half forward for the Magpies. Marking contest, the ball spills to the ground. Sirakoski, Russell for Collingwood, kicks it to the goal square. Chance here for Pitt, gives away a bit of ground. Handball back, Sharkey a bit slow, so was Ahmad. Mopped up in the finish by Aussie Jones, and handball for Harvey, not all that good, but Robert Harvey plays the percentages for the Saints and forces it over 50 metres from the Collingwood goal boundary throw-in. Not a bad crowd here at Waverley for this game, which is important to both sides. They've got some chance, some slim chance of getting back into the final 8 before the season finishes, and hopefully for their supporters play in the 1996 finals. Harvey for St Kilda gets the handball out to Jones. Jones from left half back.
Couple of bounces from Aussie Jones with pace, throws it onto the left boot. Long 40, 45 metre kick. Stewie Lowe can't mark. Collingwood trying to get out of trouble. Chris Cisco in the heavy turf. Now is a chance. It's Beveridge will run into an open goal for Saints. Touches the ground. Has a ping and puts it through. St Kilda on the board. The first score. Luke Beveridge. Excellent lead up there, Ross.
Yeah, good passage of play there, Russ. And it all started with a clever handball by Robert Harvey on the half-back line to set up Jones, and he kicked that ball forward. Then good pressure here as well by his teammates. Number 2 there, Tony Brown, just feeds the ball off the Beveridge. And it looks as if this ball might have been going through for a point, but the breeze just brings that back. Oh. It's well judged in the end.
Excellent goal from Luke Beveridge. First score of the game. As umpire Brian Sheehan throws it into the centre of the ground as the big monkey takes it out of the air. Outgunning Lazar Vidovic, throws it on the boot. Lee Walker coming out from goal. Spent a lot of time with some bad knee injuries. Chips it round wide, finding Rocker in front of Shanahan.
Been kicking right into a breeze too, Russ. You've seen a couple of kicks by Collingwood coming forward. Moncourt's one of them.
Wayward pass from Rocker, straight to David Sirakoski in the back pocket for St Kilda.
Sirakoski for the Saints. Doesn't waste too much of that kick. It goes long out towards the wing. Gee, Lowe's a long, long way away from full forward. He's in the defensive half of the ground. Stuart Lowe for the Saints, the co-captain. Kicks towards half forward. Good mark taken by Winmar. Handball to Tony Brown. In turn, goes to Daniels. 150 games. What a great performance. Jones beaten for it. Much taller, much stronger. And in better position was Monkhorst. His kick out into the path of Sharkey. Falls over, critical, but he's able to get back and recover. Left foot kick, not all that good. In towards half forward, Francis has the football. He's close to the boundary line. He kicks in towards the middle of the ground. Sharkey couldn't take the mark. This is Brett James being harassed by Aussie Jones. The handball, or the kick forward, is taken by Cripps. Cripps's kick will be marked down here by Everett.
Everett held up well by Scotty Burns, because Everett had Beveridge running quickly down through the middle of the ground, but a poor kick, but finds his mark in the 150 game of Daniels. Daniels goes wide, opening up the goals from Matthew Young, gets encouragement from Nathan Burke, touches the ground, has a shot from 55. Maybe should have done a bit better than that.
Gee, there was a player out to his right that he could have nearly delivered that hand pass to Roscoe.
Yes, Tony Brown was it? Out there wide there, quite right, Robbo, but he's been pretty good form, Matthew Young.
Been an excellent buy since coming across from Hawthorn. There's Nathan Buckley, who's found his niche at full-back, although it was a poor kick finding Monkhorst. Bit of a wobbly one. Handball on from half-back. Now to Chris Siska through the centre wing position for Collingwood. Lee Walker has plenty of time. He's got Sharkey all on his own. He kicks into the man on the mark is Sirakoski. Excellent pressure from the St Kilda defender. Matthew Young, the previous behind kicker, to Harvey. Dancing through the centre of the ground. Kicks long, looking for Stewie Lowe. Lowe leaves his opponent in Shawbull. Bottled up centre half back.
Only one criticism of Robert Harvey is his kicking ability, Ross. Just then, he probably could have manufactured something a bit better.
Yeah, although I think generally, Robbo, it's improved a lot, I think.
By Macaulay throws it up in the mud. Monkhorst, the tap. Cripps volleyballs it back to Daniels. Opens it up, but a free kick to Collingwood. to Gavin Brown at centre half back for the Pies.
Terrific player, Gavin Brown. Hand pass, Krasiska missed it. Good harassment provided by Joel Smith. Knocks it to the path of Burke. Burke underneath, tackled by Mark Richardson, too high. Well, a questionable decision, but Burke has the free kick. Appealing to the umpire maybe for a penalty for a little bit of interference after the free kick had been awarded, but nothing happening. Nathan Burke will have to kick from 50 metres. Collingwood player on the mark is trying to crib a metre or three. Umpire very quickly on the scene there. It's Tony Francis on the mark. So Nathan Burke to shoot for St Kilda's second goal. The quarter is only about 6 minutes old. Burke gets onto a big kick. It is a big kick by the co-captain. He's kicked a goal. Magnificent kick by Nathan Burke for St Kilda's second goal. And they've got all the score at the moment, the Saints. They're 2-1. Collingwood yet to score.
Yeah, a bit of a rarity, Robbo, isn't it, to get onto a big torp here, but saw the opportunity outside 50. Magnificent kick by Burke, who's been just in outstanding form, averaging 25 possessions so far this season. Just suggesting to Tony Francis, have a look at the scoreboard.
At least he's competitive, Ross. That's fantastic to see. Back to the centre of the ground. Vidovic over the top of Monkhorst, only to Scotty Crowe. Been excellent for Collingwood this season. Cripps in front of his teammates, well tackled by Walker. Excellent pressure. Sirakoski the interception. Running through the centre of the ground. Elects to kick long, looking for Lowe. Using his body, trying to create a path for his teammates. Now has to handball. Everett won't bend over. Toe poke off the ground. Gavin Brown caught with the ball. Smith claiming the tackle. Brown under the pack again. Umpires letting it go. Excellent stuff. But this time, to no avail, there'll be a bounce.
I think if a game of football's to be won, certainly in modern day football, the forwards have to work very, very hard to make sure they keep it in. And St Kilda forwards did very well then.
Darren McCauley, the umpire, bounces it. Everett to Beveridge. It's high in the pocket. Lowe and Richardson. Mark Richardson, the man in front, will always prevail. Oh, very dangerous kick across the goal to Scotty Crowe. Now the Woods are away. Sharkey, late inclusion for the side. Kicks long up towards centre wing, looking for Lee Walker. Walker takes a nice chest mark.
So the players handling the conditions reasonably well so far. Just maybe a little tentative in their approach at the ball. Walker's kick to the 50-metre line. Oh, nearly a top effort back there by Shanahan. He's able to defend. Taps it into the path here of Winmar. He's well tackled by Brett James. The ball spills for a boundary throw-in. Umpires today are Brian Sheehan. Very, very experienced umpire in VFL, AFL ranks, Brian Sheehan. Chris Mitchell, likewise. And one of the lesser experienced young guns, Darren McCauley, officiating today. So the ruckman to go at it. Walker gets his right hand to it. Young. Now the ball spills for Winmar. Little kick to centre half back, not bad. And it's taken by Vidovic. Vidovic, who fronted the tribunal during the week for an indiscretion in the match last week that, well, was probably a bit questionable, but he was given the benefit of the doubt. Daniels to Harvey, back to Daniels. Pitt trying to be in there. Little hand pass from Neal to Daniels, and that kick not so good. It's been marked out there by Burns for Collingwood.
Scott Burns been a regular player for Collingwood this year. All 18 games out of a total of 37. Finds Robbie Armat down from Darwin. Collingwood kicking against a pretty strong breeze, maybe 4 or 5 goals, but we'll know at quarter time, depending on the form, of course. As Vidovic punch finds Tony Brown in the centre of the ground. Brown, excellent vision. Stewie Lowe in the big buckets.
Yeah, the advantage of going long and direct as quickly as you can, particularly when you have tall forwards like Everett and Lowe. And Lowe, with the advantage of the breeze, the ball just carrying a little further, had to sit on Richardson. Here we see the kick again by Brown, just looking for Lowe, sitting back. Richardson, no chance in the end.
Stewie Lowe coming off an excellent game last week, kicking 7 against Geelong. 24-point win against the Cats out here at Waverley. Kicks his first for the day. St Kilda's third. Collingwood yet to score, Robbo.
Well, Well, I guess you have to see maybe an advantage. Nathan Burke had no hesitation going down that end when he won the toss. And you mentioned before, I think it might have been you, Roscoe, that the kicks from Collingwood are struggling to get distance to the right
just holding up
end.
a bit, aren't they? Yeah, so if you can go direct and quickly forward to the end that St Kilda are kicking to, the advantage of, say, those big blokes, it makes all the difference.
The Saints are 3-1. Collingwood yet to score. The Magpies have had the ball up on their full forward line a couple of times, but not able to score at all at this stage. Oh, crashing his way through was Gavin Brown. Well, we've just come to accept that, haven't we? He just puts his body on the line week in, week out for the Magpies, does their captain.
He's been back in town the last couple of weeks, Robbo. He's been throwing himself in, doing excellent work, like the 1%ers, the tackling, the smothering, shepherding. It's been excellent.
So the bounce of the ball, Cripps, now Harvey, somehow seems to find some space for himself. A free kick off the ball when Robert Harvey ran away. Obviously Tony Francis has been interfered with, and the umpire very much on the scene.
Yes, the umpire saying that he was taken high off the ball, Robbo, so that's what the free kick was for. Brian Sheen, the umpire.
So Francis with the free kick for Collingwood. You might get a bit of an idea here as to the breeze. Well, he got good distance with that kick. It lands well inside 50 metres. Harvey again just gets out of there when other people have difficulty in doing so. Vidovic to Brown. Brown's kick towards centre-half forward. That's a mark or a free kick, is it? No, play on. So Collingwood get away with the football. It finishes with Armat. Quickly hand passes. On to Pitt. Pitt in towards the forward pocket. Ill-directed kick. Sirakoski mopping it up quite straightforwardly. Goes back in the low direction, but out-pointed by Richardson. Well played by Mark Richardson. He's kicking towards the centre-half forward position. Dropped by Sharkey after it went Neil and locks it up for the Saints.
It's a critical miss there by Sharkey. They did well to intercept Richardson, that is, to get the ball back in towards their 50-metre area.
Excellent matchups today with Mark Richardson on Stewie Lowe. Richardson, like Brown, has found form in the last couple of weeks. It's Jamie Shanahan on Sav Rocker. Rocker was kept goalless by Tony Campbell last week. As Vidovic finds Matthew Young off the ground by Walker. Nathan Burke now out of the pack, leading the kicks for St Kilda and the league, along with Nathan Buckley. The big monkey finds Scotty Crowe with a handball, throws it on the boot, but excellent mark by Christian Bardsley in defence for St Kilda. Bardsley goes wide, plays on quickly to Matthew Young, getting plenty of the ball. Short chip, finding Cripps running out of half-back for St Kilda, has plenty of time for a bounce. Makes about 70 metres. Spider Everett can't take the mark. Scotty Burns sharks it off half-back. Change of direction. Brett James on centre wing for the Pies.
James's kick, chipping in front of the two players that it may have been intended for, Walker and Sirakoski, is Francis for the Magpies. So Tony Francis coming up for his fourth possession. He's had 3 kicks, 1 hand pass. Crowe giving every indication that he's going to try and kick it long. We believe that he'll be kicking into the breeze, so it'd be a sensational kick if he was to get this anywhere near the goals.
Set play.
Set play. They all break apart.
Crowe's kick knocked away by the St Kilda defence. Handball over the top came from Vidovic. Harvey combining with Burke. Harvey's little left foot kick close to the line will bounce over in front of Tony Brown, so the boundary umpire will throw it in on centre wing.
Robbo, Rob Harvey's already had 8 possessions. We've played, what, 12, 15 minutes of this first term.
He's a hard man to contain. He just runs everywhere.
Being harassed by Scotty Russell, who's been one of Collingwood's best. There's a bit of holding against Robert Harvey, but umpire Brian Sheehan, the retaliator, always loses in that situation. Bit of experience from Russell. Receives the free kick.
Nothing in that at all.
Finding Monkhorst.
I think he was just trying to tell the boys who was in charge, wasn't he?
Yeah, James is off too, and on there is Jason Wild.
High long kick from Monkhorst. Centre half forward, Rocker with one hand, can't take the grab. Everett, excellent ground skills. Zilla to Young, goes wide, not many options, but kick it to space. Boundary umpire puts his hand in the air and will throw the ball back into play.
Probably see this as a 4-goal advantage maybe for St Kilda going down to the main.
I'd say so, Robert. Yeah, it certainly, the flags are more across the ground, but on the ground it's certainly showing the ball is favouring that end, or the wind favouring the end that St Kilda kicking to.
Vidovic's big left hand found Ziller on the chest. Ziller got rid of it for Burke. But now Francis, a high ball, gains about 20 metres, but Vidovic, eyes on the ball, running with the flight. Courage. Off to Harvey, possession number 9, big banger, 150 games today, congratulations. Into centre half forward, Everett in front of the pack, can't mark. Shawble, well done. McDonald roving to Richardson. Now the Pies are away with Russell to Krasiska. Could build something here. Sharkey, late inclusion for the Pies, kicks long, goal square, one-on-one. Rocker! Big Sav with a haircut, looks fantastic, Sav. Against Jamie Shanahan, who's no slouch, Robbo, very strong full-back.
Well, I think it's another example of the player moving the ball quickly down to the full forward line.
Yeah, giving a full forward one out, just a test of strength, and with the forward going back like that with his eyes on the ball, Shanahan coming with his back to the footy, just losing track of where it was.
Sav Rocco has 297 goals to his name so far, looking for 298 for his career. Collingwood's first. The Pies are away, they're on the board.
I'd just suggest too, Russ, that at centre half forward, or that half forward area for St Kilda, when the ball came down, you had Lowe and Everett went for the ball. There was no one crumbing on the deck, no small players around as the spoil came. Ball was run out by Krasiska, and then the kick by Sharkey. Plenty of depth, one out. That's how the full forward likes it.
So a big man and a big goal for Collingwood. Kicked by Rocker. Nathan Burke couldn't get his foot to it. Chance here for Collingwood. Buckley. His kick lands at half forward. Kicked away by Young. It'll bounce end on end, close to the line. Tony Brown quickly onto it. Gets the handball back to Young. Young will have to go with the handball again. Bardsley gets it to Tony Brown. He's been pretty good. Cripps also. So the young guns for the St Kilda side featuring very early. Lowe takes the good mark. He's 50 metres from goal. He kicks for goal! Does that hit the post?
Yeah.
Gee whiz, it was a good kick. 1 goal, 1 to Stuart Lowe. That kick from 50 metres, getting the distance quite easily in the finish.
It just shows, Rob, I think that wind is pretty strong, as Lowe, sure his kicking's improved a lot, but to kick a nice 60 metre drop punt like that, went post high. Scotty Burns finding Buckley.
Bit cool around the ears too, Buckley.
They've all been to the one place, Roscoe, I think. The number 2 Shears. Collingwood supporters urging him on. Drives it long, 50-60 metre kick, only to straight to the buckets of Stewie Lowe on centre wing. Plays on quickly. Not a very well-directed kick. Francis had a look downstairs. Now Burke. Tony Brown throws it on the boot. Spider Everett in front, a bit of a shove from Scott Crow. Paid the mark, plays on quickly to Francis now. Change of direction for Collingwood. Kick goes wide. Paul Williams, who's been quiet so far, one of Collingwood's best for the year.
Got Jason Daniels running with him. Russ.
Well, he's doing very well, so Jack can be very happy celebrating his 150th game. Williams has not touched the ball. Jack Daniels played 58 games with Sydney, recruited from Parkmore. Excellent service to both Sydney and St Kilda. Nicky Winmar to Burke. 1-2 to Harvey. Opens it up to Vidovic. Now he can drive it long. He's got Lowe one-on-one with Richardson. I'll back Stewie Lowe if he can get in front. He had to go the punch. Richardson did well, kept the front position. Now Brown using his body well. Ahmed held without the ball. Play on's the call. Brian Sheehan yells it out. The wild man for Collingwood throws it onto Paul Sharkey.
Sharkey's kick is just a little ordinary off the boot, but maybe for Collingwood a little fortunate there. Falls in the arms of Lee Walker.
Oh, I thought he did well there, Robbo. He just had to commit himself and go with the flight of the ball. Walker wasn't sure whether Rocker would get there. He did well.
Walker is about 40 metres from goal. Would certainly be a chance to kick a score here for the Magpies. And their fans will be looking for a goal. Walker, stuttering approach, kicks inaccurately. Scores are behind.
I'd like to see him go a little bit further back with his kicking from set shots like that. He just gets a bit too close to the man on the mark, and if he goes back further, you get a bit more momentum coming in.
13-point advantage for St Kilda. The kick in is to Winmar. Winmar in the left back pocket for the Saints. He's got Vidovic close to the centre, nearly on his own. He goes across the other side of the ground. This kick, too high for Young. Armat there to gather. Handball over his head. Oh, very, very good clash between those two players, and Young takes it over for a boundary throw-in. It was Robert Neal, and the Collingwood player was Rocker. Rocker and Neal having a bit of a dust-up off the football as the boundary umpire throws it in. The ruckman, Vidovic, gets his left fist to it, close to the line. It's taken by Williams. Talk about a bloke not getting it, and all of a sudden he's into the action. His kick gathered very nicely by Crow. That kick is ordinary. Should be chopped off here by Nathan Burke. He kicks across the full back line for St Kilda. Out here's a chance for Joel Smith. Little hand pass is not bad. Winmar. Lovely long hand pass by Winmar. Finds Harvey. The kick was going to be difficult for him, but the hand pass was terrific. So was that one. Gives it back to Winmar. Very skillfully gets past. Maybe not quite fit enough, but he's able to get the ball to Beveridge. Beveridge's kick will land at half forward. In goes Brown and McDonald. Brown together, finds some space, goes for goal and kicks it for the Saints. So Tony Brown gets St Kilda's 4th goal, and the Saints lead quite convincingly at this stage. They're 4-2 to 1-1.
Ross, I thought it was one of those situations where one too many handballs.
Yeah, but gee, the creativeness of both Harvey and Winmar, you think those couple of searching handballs may have set up their teammates, but this one may have got Beveridge in trouble, but he got out of it, and good effort by Brown to recover. Not a good bounce for him, but they go to ground, keeps his footing, I should say. Great evasive skills, good finish.
Tony Brown, that was his 8th possession, an excellent effort in this first term for his first goal as Vidovic, the big left hand again, only gathers about a metre, but Nathan Burke, as per usual, under the pack, spits the ball out to Winmar. Now, Winmar steadies, but Stewie Lowe caught behind the punch over the top of Richardson. Buckley to clean up, breaks the Zilla tackle, spent a lot of time out with a crook knee. Zilla off to Alex McDonald on centre wing. The Pies can steady now. Scotty Crow taking his time, trying to set something up. Not as much pressure as there should be. Stan Ells won't be happy with that one. Into the goal square. Robbie Neal throws it on the boot. We've got Winmar again in the pocket. Can pedal it towards the boundary line. Bit of experience. Over it goes.
Shows a lot of endeavour, doesn't he, Nicky Winmar?
I think Neil Evers was looking for a free kick there.
Yeah. Had a holiday last weekend, as you mentioned, Ross. Walker, front position with Vidovic. Thumps it towards goal, gaining about 10 metres.
If someone wasn't aware, who is Neil Elvis? Winmar, is it?
Neil Elvis Winmar.
Is that his name?
That's his real name.
Well, there you go.
Nicky, he's affectionately known at the club, or Cuz. Collingwood right forward pocket, the big snake pit over the top, Stephen Pitt. Tony Francis now setting up for Williams. This could be miraculous. Across the front of goal. Rocker! Very similar to the last one, Ross, using his body.
Yeah, Jamie Shanahan in that strength battle, just getting caught again with his back to the footy. I know it's a tough situation. It may be better if he could just turn around and get his eye on the footy.
Bit difficult when they kick it over your head.
Yeah, but I want him to turn around and back.
Yep. Rocker has a shot. Kick looks pretty good. He's happy. That's his second.
Well, again, that's very much in favour of the full forward when the ball again coming in like that. He's kept his eye on the ball and he's backpedaling. Shanahan, I know it's a tough one here again. Good punch over the top by Pitt. And the ball carried forward and Francis feeds off here. Williams, we thought, may have had a ping. Shanahan just getting caught out again.
Looks like a battle of the two full forwards, doesn't it? The big guy for Collingwood, Rocker, has kicked 2, and Lowe for St Kilda has kicked 1. St Kilda 4-2, lead Collingwood 2-1. 13-point margin in favour of the Saints. Daniels trying to break clear of the centre. Sharkey in there for Collingwood. Williams, well, umpire Brian Sheehan has picked out a free kick. It goes to Daniels. His kick is wide. Finds Joel Smith. The handball. into the path of Matthew Young. May have been intended for Jones. He goes for Joel Smith, very talented young player. Joel Smith goes bang. It may have covered the players on the goal line. I think it's a goal to St Kilda. Great kick by Smith. St Kilda have got their 5th on the scoreboard.
He's beautifully balanced, isn't he, the way he kicked that ball, and just had enough carry on it. Kicked it beautifully, just a little bit to the right of the goal's end, and just came back. And this one too, Young involved again, just squaring the ball off. And Joel Smith just kicked it beautifully, timed it well, missed the oncoming Collingwood player, and the Collingwood players in the goal square couldn't get a hand on it.
It's the Saints by 19 points. Only a couple of minutes left in this first term. They're kicking with a pretty strong breeze. As Scott Crowe kicks the ball out of the centre, kicks it wide. Bounce eludes Matthew Young, but a clever tap by Sierakowski finding Young. Things are going well for St Kilda. Good kick from Young. Joel Smith, the previous goal kicker, in front of Gavin Brown with an excellent mark. Kicks it out in the front of Stewie Lowe. Unable to take the grab. Good spoil from Richardson. Richardson now butters up over the top to Monkhorst. Bit of time now, following up to Krasiska. On the good leg, left foot, kicking wide. Poor bounce for Walker. Able to twist and turn. Sierakowski with pressure. Walker gets a clever handball away to Ahmed, and a clever left foot pass to Savroka. Excellent lead up by Collingwood. Big Sav plays on quickly. Pumps it up to the past the goal square, over the front of goals. Stephen Pitt unable to take the mark, close to the boundary line. Beats them both. Him and Robbie Neal.
Go back down the other end of the ground. I think you made a comment earlier when they bombed away, there was no crummers. The same thing with Lowe again, wasn't it?
Yep. Well, they'd probably expect him to take that mark in that situation because he was in front, but you've got to have someone still at the front, don't you?
A minute and a half left in the term. Boundary throw in Collingwood's left forward pocket. Stephen Pitt trying to break away. Scotty Crowe to Francis. Francis just a little bit difficult there for Brown. He's dragged off the football by Winmar. Umpire calls play on. It's still there for the Magpies. Walker does well. Gets it to Crowe to Francis. Out wider still to McDonald. Little left foot toe poke, but not there for Collingwood. But Young is there for St Kilda. He goes right the way away across the other side of the ground to Brown. Brown has been terrific in the first term. Possession number 9 for Tony Brown. He's already kicked a goal. Winmar back to Brown. He's had 2 possessions in that passage of play, so go to 10, Tony Brown. The kicker towards the forward pocket area. Knocked away by Krasiska. Not far enough. Harvey tackled too high, was he?
Definitely,
yes, says the umpire. So the free kick will go to Robert Harvey in the right forward pocket, about 40 metres from St Kilda's goal.
Yeah, the first part of the tackle definitely got him around that chop, so too high.
Harvey, ever aware of the situation on a football ground. Must run an amazing distance in a game, Robert Harvey. Not all that confident maybe in what he's about to try and do. He's going to have a shot now, so he'll need the breeze to maybe help him out. His kick goes across the face. It's there for Beveridge. Slips over, able to recover and still kick a goal, has he?
No, he's missed, I think.
Oh, he's got a push in the back, Robbo, in the goal square.
So the score will not register, and umpire Chris Mitchell has decided no 2 kicks. You can see Stuart Lowe order 2 beers from the goal square, but umpire Chris Mitchell having nothing to do with that. But still, for St Kilda's point of view, it is another kick to Luke Beveridge. The siren is sounded, so Collingwood's score at quarter time will be 2 goals, 1-13. What remains is just a pure academic kick here for Luke Beveridge from the goal square. Should kick St Kilda's 6th goal. Luke Beveridge, who kicked the Saints first, gets the Saints' 6th goal. So at quarter time, St Kilda lead 6-2, 38. Collingwood are 2-1-13, and a little bit of a to-do there between Monkhorst and Everett. In comes Lowe. St Kilda players have the last laugh because they have a very healthy advantage at quarter time, although you would think they have kicked with the aid of the breeze in the first term. It is 6-2 to 2-1. Roscoe, anything to add?
No, I think they have taken pretty well advantage of that, Breeze. A couple of setups they had in the half-forward line, as I mentioned, didn't have the crumbers in front of Lowe and Everett, which they should have. Collingwood defenders are always going to try and punch forward, so they should be at the foot of the pack. But other than, I think they used the ball pretty well.
Ready? Give us a yell, I think.
Umpire Brian Shen puts the hand up in the air to commence the second term here at Waverley Park. It's St Kilda by 25 points. They've kicked against, kicked with probably a pretty strong breeze in that first term as Monkhurst gets the ball down to Williams, who was well held by Daniels in that first term. No one can take the grab. It's Sirakoski at centre half back. Sinks the boot into the leather. Tony Brown's poleaxe by Krasiska, unable to take the grab. McDonald, quick kick. Sharkey unable to take the mark, well held in by Tony Brown. Ball spits out to Nathan Burke. Kicks wildly towards the boundary line. Takes the pressure off the St Kilda defence. Out of bounds on centre wing. Nathan Buckley, first term. Reasonably quiet by his standards. 5 kicks and only 1 grab.
Some good possession gatherers on both sides. Scott Crowe 10 for Collingwood, and Tony Francis 9 for the Magpies for St Kilda. 12 to Robert Harvey, 12 to Matthew Young, and 10 to Tony Brown. But certainly the ledger very much in favour of the Saints as far as the possessions are concerned, and it shows on the scoreboard. They have a very healthy advantage at the start of this second term, 6-2 to 2-1. Monkhorst looking for maybe a free kick out of that ruck contest. McDonald knocked off the ball by Winmar, was pretty good. Daniels' kick from mid-air, safely marked at half-back by Krasiska. Very reliable player for Collingwood over a long period of time is Gavin Krasiska. He kicks with the left foot out towards the wing. Good mark taken by Walker. And it's pleasing to see him standing up on a football ground. Great kick to Francis. Francis, little left foot for the favour of Rocker. Off the ground.
On the full, I think, Robert.
And missed everything, yep. Got his right shoulder very heavily strapped. He's had a few problems with that shoulder over, the last 12 months?
Yeah, and he did it again, I think, about 6 weeks ago, Robert.
Against Fitzroy, Ross, at Victoria Park 3 weeks ago it was. I was there. Heard the AC joint it was.
It'll be a good game for Jamie Shanahan in 3 or 4 weeks if he's injury-free. You can see on the picture there he's played 96 games. This is Francis for Collingwood. A kick across the half-forward line. Pretty good. Marcus taken by Pitt. He's been a goal kicker for Collingwood over the last couple of weeks. Kicked 3 or 4 against North Melbourne and kicked 3 or 4 last week against Footscray. He's kicked toward the goal square, knocked away. Well done by Vidovic. Out into the path there of Young. Closing on him was Williams. The kick by Young is good, and the mark is taken by Neal.
That's the perfect defensive sport, Robert, isn't it? Coming over the back towards the boundary line, then the smaller players mop up for you.
Robbie Neal looking for options. Didn't have much up forward, so decides to kick long centre wing. 2 Collingwood players spoil each other, Sharkey and Shawble. Sharkey gets it back to Shawble, to McDonald. Now McDonald elects to kick, but pushed after he kicked the ball, and Collingwood will take the free kick downfield.
Lee Walker gets a chance at goal here. As I said in the first quarter, I hope he takes a longer run up. He does get very close to the man on the mark. Certainly going back further this time.
So undisciplined play down there on the wing by a St Kilda defender.
Lee Walker spent a lot of time in hospitals, knee reconstructions, physiotherapists, rehabilitation. Now he's back on the ground, lining up for his first goal. Kick looks pretty good for the Pies. Look of relief on his face, Ross.
Yes, I'm not sure if we'll pick up who the infringing player for St Kilda was, because I was looking further down the field and I couldn't tell you who it was that pushed McDonald over. So we'll just see the kick here again, which again he gets pretty close, but good distance, and obviously the accuracy good enough. He's presented himself pretty well at centre half forward. I think Walker, I think he's the player they should persevere with in that posse.
Well, Well, he's had 8 possessions, Ross, with 4 marks and kicked a goal.
Yep.
And we're in the early part of the second term, 6-2 to 3-1. So still a 19-point advantage for St Kilda. Williams dragged off the football. Brown in the middle of the action again. Sharkey, this is Harvey. Somehow just hangs onto the football. Gee, got the advantage of the umpire there. The hand pass with Nathan Burke. Out in front of Everett, just lumbering. So Shawble with a little bit more agility. Handball over the top. Brown back to Shawble. Close to the line. Oh, great Shepherd. 2 players are in all sorts of strife. Daniels is down and out. And the Collingwood player, McDonald, gets to his feet quickly, but that was an unbelievable clash between the 2 players, Daniels and McDonald.
You can see it coming too, Robbo.
Yeah, Daniels just didn't see him, did he, at all?
It was a perfect Shepherd, but...
Hasn't moved. Now his left leg is moving a little bit. McDonald being attended to also.
They are the worst to cop because you have no idea that they're coming.
Did not even see it coming.
Looks like McDonald might go off too.
He's hurt.
Well, safety precaution. McLaren preparing to... It's not McLaren, it's Jamie Elliott getting ready to come onto the ground. We'll have another look at this incident.
Daniels is the...
It's an excellent Shepherd, actually.
Yes, I don't know whether there's much need for remonstration because there's going to be a free kick here now to Collingwood, you would think. Oh! And Everett, well, they're being... This is just the nasty side of football when it's really not necessary. There'll be melees here, there'll be fines incurred, and there's got to be a bit of self-discipline by players of both sides.
Totally unnecessary, all that.
I mean, there's such a thing as flying the flag, but with today's penalties that are there, I mean, players going back a second or third time for melees can be rubbed out, correct?
Yep, correct.
And if your team's got a chance of playing in the finals, they don't need you to become unavailable because of a stupid bit of undisciplined play like this.
But it also, Robbo, the most important point is I don't think a lot of players would have seen the incident, and they assume that maybe he was hit high when they do look at the replay. It was a good hip and shoulder from Alex McDonald. Unfortunately, that Daniels hit the turf. They didn't see what went on. So really, you can't pass judgment when you don't know the true facts. But you know, I hope Jack's okay. His 150th game, not the best way to spend it. Shane Wakeland replaces Peter Everett. I think a bit of disciplinary measure there. Robbo, you mentioned that unnecessary from Everett remonstrating with Monkhorst, but as Peter Everett's pointing the finger.
Well, look out, they're into it already, Shawble and Wakeland. Wakeland's only been on the ground for about 20 seconds. Emergency umpire quickly onto the scene there.
Bit of emotion here at Waverley Park. Alex McDonald has the free kick down the field. He just cleaned up Jack Daniels with a ripper Shepherd, and now he's lining up for a goal. Kick is offline. St Kilda supporters loving that. Copying a mouthful from Nicky Winmar.
Well, they had the best chance of all time to say to St Kilda, this is what you do with the football, kick a goal.
But Alex McDonald getting a bit of a rough time. Unfortunately, that St Kilda players don't realise it was a good hip and shoulder, and that's the way footy is. Anyway, Aussie Jones takes the kick out from goal, marks it in the...
Yeah, and just without making it too hard on Jack Daniels, I mean, it was a bit of a blind chase. You've got to have your eyes open a bit to know what's going on around you. I mean, McDonald came from the front of him, so if he had his eyes open a bit, he probably should have seen him anyway. That's it's been and done.
We're on centre wing. It's Gavin Brown who has the ball in the middle of the pack. Now Tony Francis. This could be something that spurs on the Pies. Francis kicks wildly over the top of the Collingwood forwards. Rocker one of those. As the game starts to settle a little, Robbo.
Well, I think it's important that whichever side does settle down maybe the quickest, it could be to their advantage.
And I'd suggest too that Alex McDonald's still pretty sore himself from that hip and shoulder.
Well, it was a terrific clash between 2 players. Williams, gee, that was just snapped off his boot by Tony Francis. Handball goes to Pitt. Pitt with his right foot kicks towards full forward. Well done. Gee, he's a good player, isn't he, Matthew Young? He has been terrific for St Kilda right throughout the season. Would certainly feature in their best and fairest, you would think. Elliott pushed from behind by Crow. It perhaps wasn't a mark, but certainly a free kick to Jamie Elliott. He plays on quickly, gets the handball wide to Young. Young is close to the line. The Shepherd affected quite nicely to give him a little bit of a path. The kick, short. Buckley takes the mark for the Magpies. Nathan Buckley for Collingwood. He's kicking towards the centre of the ground. Mark is taken by Sharkey. Handball's wider still. McDonald looks as though he's recovered. Getting the boost from St Kilda fans. Down the ground, is it?
Yes.
He's been pushed, so the kick will go down the ground, and a straightforward shot at goal, albeit on a tough angle for Collingwood. He runs around, does Stephen Pitt, and he has missed by a big margin.
Now, Robbo, that'll be interesting. Or Ross, what Stan Ells does now with Stuart Lowe with that indiscretion.
Yeah, it was a bit unnecessary. I mean, he was never going to get there in time.
Well, there's a fair bit of time to transpire before half-time. There's 15 minutes left in this second term. So the St Kilda runner, Russell Green, is going to be pretty busy, you would think, over the next 90 seconds to 2 minutes to get round to these boys and tell them to settle down, because football is the #1 object. That thing that Christian Bardsley's got in his hands is what the St Kilda players have got to get their mind back onto. Short kick has been marked by Jones.
Aussie Jones wants to kick it long. He does. Looking for Lowe in front of Richardson. In the buckets it goes. By Brian Sheehan. In a perfect situation here today, one of the most experienced umpires around. He's got to keep control with Chris Mitchell. Lowe kicks it long, a long way out of the forward line. Buckley flies, unable to take the mark one-handed. Over the top of Zilla. I think Zilla missed a lot of footy with an ankle, was it, Ross? Was it?
Yes, he badly. In fact, I saw him do that, so good to see him back too, Russ.
Yeah.
He's been a very good player for St Kilda. I know Stan Ells is a big rap for him.
Umpire Macaulay. Free kick to Monkhorst against Vidovic for holding. Let's just get a feeling that Collingwood may be the better offside. They've settled the quickest from St Kilda. A couple of poor indiscretions against the Saints in the past couple of minutes. Sirakoski offloads it to Winmar. Winmar kicks wide to Aussie Jones, who has a bit of time, thanks to the Rob Harvey Shepherd just out of screen. Now Stewie Lowe, well spoiled by Mark Richardson. As he gets Mark Richardson gets a nice little, the plaudits of Gavin Brown. Lowe a long way out from centre half forward, in between half forward and centre wing with Monkhorst. The left hand of Monkhorst onto Russell, now to Krasiska. Got Tony Francis on the speed. Kicks it short, not a real good one. The 1-2 from Sharkey. Francis now gets his boot to it. Excellent play from Shanahan.
That is...
You can't play that against him. Goodness me.
Well, I called the excellent play, Robbo, and they've given it in the back to Savrocker.
Can't believe that.
Perfect use of the body.
Stood his ground. Oh. Savrocker will kick for his 300th career goal, directly in front.
Not much in this either. 17 points, soon to become 11 if he kicks accurately.
Justice for St Kilda. As he curses himself, one that shouldn't have got away. And Big Sav has 2-1 on the board.
So 16 points is St Kilda's advantage as Matthew Young prepares to kick it back in for St Kilda. He goes short and the mark is taken by Cripps. Plays on quickly, gets it back to Young. Young goes very wide. Mark is taken by Vidovic. So 3 possessions for St Kilda, and they're still in their defensive 50-metre area. This kick is very good, and it finds Shanahan. Rocker just a little late. Now, the crowd certainly has got that 50-metre penalty, haven't they?
But I think 1 point, Robbo, the umpires are taking control. I think they're going to let the players know they can't get away with these indiscretions. It's excellent work from Brian Sheehan.
Fair enough. So Shanahan now not quite up to 50 metres. He's been kicking from 60 metres from goal. He kicks into the left forward pocket area. In front was Pitt, taken by Neal. Kicks into the Collingwood player Brown. So Robert Neal, perhaps just a little frustrated in that passage of play. They did well to get the ball into the clear, but he wasn't able to capitalise. Boundary throw in about 30 metres, maybe a little closer. 25 metres from St Kilda's goal. The goals at this end have been few and far between. The Magpies kicked 2 in the first quarter. St Kilda yet to kick a goal in this second term, and the umpire will bounce from that little passage there of Gavin Brown trying to clear the ball from the back line, and of course Stuart Lowe trying to force it forward for St Kilda. Beveridge, Richardson, Wild for Collingwood, dragged down, gets the handball wide, taken away by Armat for Krasiska. Krasiska, now Nathan Buckley, looks to give the hand pass away, but ineffective. Monkhorst in trouble, still St Kilda a chance to gather. Nathan Burke just pitched that kick. It's at half forward for St Kilda. Beveridge on Wild. Ball spills now, it's kicked away from half back. Out in the direction of Sharkey and Matthew Young. And it goes over for a boundary throw in.
And Nathan Buckley just chastising himself, realising that he should have kicked that ball instead of just going sideways with a handball. He's the best kick in the side. Go long as you can.
Very surprising. He's got the most kicks for Collingwood in the league. And he pinged for handballing. It's a free kick against Vidovic again. Will go to Damien Monkhorst. Played his 150th game last week. Big monkey from Yuri Yalek. Kicks long inside 50. Stephen Pitt in front, unable to hold it for too long. Rocker caught. Gets the handball away. So Collingwood forwards chip it around, following Jason Wild. And a pretty good angle. It was Sharkey.
Good kick, yeah, good kick rush by Sharkey. Rocket just hanging on enough to get swung around, and there's that little left foot's pass by Sharkey. It's a long hand, isn't it? So that low.
Jason Wild directly in front, kicks from 45. Head down. Pies kicking with a reasonably strong breeze. They've only got the one goal to Lee Walker early in the term. St Kilda yet to score a major in this second term. We've got 10 minutes left in this first half as Tony Brown takes the mark out from goal.
6-2 to 3-5 St Kilda lead. The ball is with Nathan Burke. He's on left half back. His kick out towards the wing. The player at the back is David Sirakoski. Across his left shoulder. All right, two. Finishes here with Zilla. Zilla runs on. St Kilda may get a chance to score from this foray up forward if the trainer gets out of the road. Gavin Brown and
I think it hit the trainer on the foot, did it, Robbo?
Sorry, what was that, Ross?
I think it hit the trainer on the foot.
A bit of frustration there for the players because the ball coming up quickly. Trainer caught on the ground.
That's off for Collingwood. Robbo and Patterson on for his first run.
Monkhorst to the back. Cripps. Little toe poke out in front of Joel Smith. Left it behind, did Joel Smith. Kicks it close to the line. Out there is Zilla. He's prepared to allow it to go over. Nathan Buckley, number 5, so they're manning up. You would suggest Stephen Zilla prepared to just give away possessions on the off chance that he can contain Nathan Buckley's total by the end of the day. He's had 7 so far, Nathan Buckley. Stephen Zilla for St Kilda has had 4. Robert Harvey, tackled well by Crow. Maybe a bit lucky to get away with that was Robert Harvey, but the umpire will bounce about 55 to 60 metres from the St Kilda goal.
Let's play on anyway.
Umpire Brian Sheehan
bounces the ball. Stewie Lowe gets the tap to the running Brown, caught by Scott Russell, off the ground by a St Kilda player. Didn't pick that one up. To Zilla now. Good groundwork. High ball from Wakeland it was, and punched clear by Gavin Brown. Excellent defensive work from the Collingwood captain. Premiership player in 1990. Tucked in the pocket. St Kilda forward line. Stewie Lowe in front position. Russell grabbed without the ball. Umpire Darren McCauley says too high. Scotty Russell gets the free kick. Plays on quickly. He's got Gavin Krasiska running outside 50. Got a bit of a paddock. He can have a bounce if he wants to. Decides to kick it long. He's got the leading forwards. Williams is one of those. Excellent punch from Aussie Jones. Excellent speed. Good disciplined work from Jones.
Wakeland's off, replaced by Everett.
Jones picking up Paul Williams after Jason Daniels being stretchered from the ground about 10 minutes into this second term.
And McDonald's off too, Robbo. That's Alex McDonald and Prestige Como's on.
Burke gets the handball away to Matthew Young. St Kilda's best across half back. Now kicks wide. Everett has a chance in front of Shawble. Clever stuff with the left hand. Drives it in long for the goals. Kick looks pretty good. Excellent punch from Shawble. And Richardson in that pack.
I think Peter Everett showed everyone there that he's got a tremendous amount of skill.
Richardson's gone down. It was Richardson with the punch in the pack. Hurt himself.
But Everett's gather and ability to just read the flight or the bounce of the ball was terrific.
Could be a knee here, Robbo. His right knee, which is a disaster. Fell awkwardly.
Collingwood bench pretty slow to pick up what's going on here.
Have a look. Very similar to Dunstall's last week, like stretched the landing awkwardly.
McDonald's off with that, what looks to be a bit of a crooked shoulder from the collision with Jack Daniels.
Doesn't look good down here with Mark Richardson. They're calling for the stretcher, so 2 stretchers in the one game. Jack Daniels poleaxed by Alex McDonald with a clean shepherd. Now Mark Richardson with a seemingly dicey knee, damaged knee.
Russell, we've only had 1 goal kicked in this quarter, and that was Lee Walker, who kicked Collingwood's 3rd goal at the 3-minute mark of this second term. So it's really been a battle of defences.
There's been a lot happening, Robbo, since then. A lot of emotion. As Mark Richardson is flies in the pack, Ross, you want to call this?
Yes, he's the one, as you said, they got the spoil, comes down awkwardly.
It looks like he landed on his right knee awkwardly.
Yeah. Just shows you, it doesn't take much, does it? So many knee injuries of just what seems a relatively simple movement.
What about the balance of the Collingwood lineup now? They look as though they lose one of their shorter players.
Yeah, well, Prestige Como may have to go back now.
Well, he's held Stewie Lowe very well, Ross. He's kept him to 1 goal. You know, Stewie Lowe, as we know, is an enormous mark, and he's kicked 78 goals for the season, so this could be a break for St Kilda.
Yeah, just wondering, I know it's only a technical thing, but he was out of the play in terms of now they're bringing him across the ground. Could they not have brought him around the boundary line?
Yeah, but he's got a sore knee. I mean, the shortest distance is straight across, isn't it?
Well, at this stage, the Saints have the advantage. They're 6-3 to 3-5. The goal kickers for St Kilda, 2 to Luke Beveridge, 1 to Lowe, 1 to Joel Smith, 1 to Nathan Burke, and also Tony Brown. And for Collingwood, Severio Rocker has kicked 2 goals and Lee Walker has kicked 1. And a sad blow for Collingwood as Mark Richardson has stretched off. We've had Jason Daniels earlier in this term taken off on a stretcher, but his was a knock to the head. This looks like certainly a leg injury of some sort to Mark Richardson. And taking his place on the field is Brett James. So a tall going off for the Magpies and a short coming on. We'll be keeping a close eye on how they shuffle their players around to combat the St Kilda forward line. Mark Richardson, before he was taken from the field, was manning up on Stuart Lowe.
And was doing very well. Kept Lowe to 1 goal. 1-1, Stewie Lowe. And excellent punching and excellent defence from Mark Richardson. Getting front position. Just being a bit of just scragging him and annoying him as Nathan Buckley kicks the ball long, straight up the centre of the ground. It's going to be a long quarter as Scotty Burns drives it through the centre. Kicks wide, looking for Rocker. Pushed out by Shanahan. Shanahan eyes on the ball. Content to let it go over.
Gee, if you gave a free kick against him earlier in the quarter for positioning his body, you could have nearly given a kick against him then too.
On that basis, It's a good kick out by Buckley too to find, it goes centrally down through centre half back. The ball carries the pack and you run on. It's very effective if you get that player to run through and get clean possession.
Well, within seconds, it's in Collingwood's right forward pocket, boundary throw in. Walker gets his big right fist to it, knocks it closer to goal, but yes, it's still in. James, handball, Wild, goes back Williams, Walker. They've manufactured something out of nothing, Collingwood, and they've got their 4th goal on the scoreboard.
Well,
really was a bit of magic there by the Magpies by just persevering, not prepared to accept that the ball was going to go out of bounds.
Yes, and again, as you mentioned, within the matter of seconds, the ball's down in that forward area, Robbo, from the kick-out. And correctly, there's the big punch from Walker. And Collingwood players not conceding the ball outside. James inside here. Wild. And then Walker finishes off with his second.
Ross, isn't it amazing when you've got a moving forward line?
Yep.
Mobility creates space,
Well, that's
opportunity.
Certainly Walker at centre half forward just giving them that. Good battle between he and Sierakowski.
Well, the Pies have kicked 2 goals for the term. St.Kilda had yet to score in this second quarter. At 6-3, plays 4-5. As Cripps gets it over to Winmar. Here's a chance now for the Saints. Winmar kicks wide to Stewie Lowe. Excellent pass, Nicky Winmar. Bit of experience.
CC, centre clearance.
Yes. Over the last 8 or 10 years, we've seen Winmar to Lockett. Now it's Winmar to Lowe.
Yes, and the advantage too of the kick just goes to Stewie Lowe's right, which keeps it away from Shawball. Not just punching it up in the air and giving Shawball a chance.
Well, Andrew Shawball now playing on Stewie Lowe as Mark Richardson left the field on a stretcher with a seemingly damaged knee. As Lowe puts through his second. St Kilda's first for the term and they're 8th for the game.
Yes, and Stewie Lowe now with those couple of goals in this game is just 20 short of his ton. And as Russell said, followed up nicely. Winmar is the player that gets it off the ground and gets the ball back again. Almost a mark held by Russell, but almost isn't good enough, says the umpire. And there's that kick to advantage. Spot on.
So a little bit of sun trying to burst through here at Waverley as a free kick has been found. Infringement.
And St Kilda player coming off half-back, Robbo, was where the infringement came.
Well, certainly Monkhorst has got the chance to kick Collingwood to within scoring distance. It goes to the half-forward area. Play-on says the umpire. And Rocker down over the top there of Bardsley. So the umpire can do nothing more than bounce. It's about 35 to 40 metres from the Magpie goal. We've got 6 minutes left in the second term. Chance for James. Out to Pitt. Pitt across his left shoulder. It's very, very wide. It's missed everything. So a free kick for the Saints in the left back pocket. To be taken down there by Christian Bardsley by the look of it. Nicky Winmar close to the scene. Winmar just looks to me as though he's really struggling to get into the play. He's come back from a very severe knee injury, doing a pretty good job to get out on the field and help his Saints out, at least with a bit of morale, you would think. Everett tried to punch it away there from Wild. In goes James, beaten for it by Burke. Francis gets it back. Russell, not bad in these circumstances, is Scotty Russell. Left foot snap, has missed. So first score there for Scott Russell. Usually does a pretty good job for Collingwood as far as kicking goals is concerned. He's kicked 88 goals in his career, which has spanned something like 140 games for the Magpies.
And he's got 11 for the year, Robbo. 11-10, 11-11 he's kicked, so an excellent footballer for Collingwood side. There's Walker over the top of Sierakowski. Sierakowski gets the advantage to Burke. Nathan Burke, excellent pressure from Paul Williams, forcing him to kick over the line and out of bounds on the full. As Williams tells him there's a little bit of chesty cuffs. Push and shove. Pretty harmless stuff. Krasiska chips in board. He's got Sharkey. That's very much like James Manson, who used to wear number 30 for Collingwood. Sharkey, unable to be grabbed by Winmar. Buckley on the burst. Buckley again under the pack, scrapes it in. Brett James has come on the ground. Burns back to Crow. Excellent pressure from Spider Everett. Zilla gets the ball out of the way as he spits it out of the pack. McLaren's on the ground for the St Kilda side. Dodges around a couple, goes wide for Beveridge. Now Beveridge has a bit of time to set it up. Wants to look long and wants to kick long. He's got Vidovic and Everett. Excellent vision, Luke Beveridge. He held it up took his time and found the right option, and it was a perfect one.
Yeah, just as well he came inside to just do that little dummy, because he would have missed Everett. He would have looking towards the goal square. Everett had been out in that spot for some time.
Big spider Everett. Kick from 35 directly in front. St Kilda's 8th. It's the Saints now by 21 points.
Yes, and the importance of Everett shown already when he first came on, having been taken off in this quarter for an indiscretion. Had a bit of an impact. Some good pressure in the midfield here. Everett, one of those applying the pressure. St Kilda ends up with the footy, and Everett just charged straight through. After we see there McLaren try to control the footy, Beveridge finishes up with it, and as he came in board to get around a Collingwood play, he finally saw Everett, and he finished off for him.
So the play goes on, and St Kilda break away from the centre once again. It's Matthew Young out in the direction here of Joel Smith's going to get run down. Well tackled there by Brown, but the ball spills back for Matthew Young again. He's kicking towards half forward for St Kilda. Gather, oh dear me, the bump by Krasiska has put Harvey down. Now you wonder whether that's all. Well, we might have another look at that. Play goes on, but gee whiz, Harvey's in the hands of the trainers. James, handball over the top for Francis. At the feet there of Prestigiacomo. In a bit of strife now, Brown, but Prestigiacomo able to get the handball for Wild. Then James, still Harvey in the hands of the trainers. Back at half forward for St Kilda. Sirakoski, severe bump on Rocker. Away comes Shanahan. Shanahan's kick comes back to half forward where St Kilda have numbers down. Harvey is on his feet. McLaren took the mark, got it to Winmar. Harvey's now up on his feet. The kick into Joel Smith. Can he get past? No, he's tackled. Tried to handball to his own advantage. Wild. Handball away to Prestigiacomo, and Collingwood are out of trouble.
Brett James on the receiving end of that beautiful pass off to Tony Francis through the centre of the ground. Centre half back it is at Shanahan in front of Rocker. He's lifted his game, Shanahan. Couple of free kicks against him, not happy. Winmar now to Matthew Young. St Kilda's best.
19 posies.
Just under 3 minutes left in this term as Nick, beautiful pass to Rob Harvey. Poleaxe by Krasiska. On his feet now and leading for teammates. Chips in for Vidovic into the pocket. Vidovic too slow, is caught, gets a handball away to Beveridge, has a bit of time, bit of dancing, around on the left foot. Only to find Andrew Shawble in the left back pocket for the Pies.
Away to Williams. Williams across the goal square. Short pass is all right and finds Crow. Crow looks for Walker. Walker making position on centre wing. Closing on him is Sirakoski. He gets his kick away. It is way offline as far as precision is concerned, so the free kick will go to St Kilda to be taken out there on centre wing. Elliott onto the ground at the expense of Harvey. Harvey, after that severe crunch by Krasiska, having a spell on the bench, and you would suggest with 2 minutes left in the half, Robert Harvey will stay there until siren time for this end of the second term. Neal to Jones. Jones's hand pass. Vidovic and Sharkey gathered there by Francis. Francis, his kick over the top there of Scotty Crow and rolls over for a throw-in.
Well, Ross, there's no love lost here at the moment, is it? The boys are throwing themselves in.
Yes, I just want to be careful, St Kilda, they don't again take their eye off the footy.
Centre wing. Still 2 minutes left to go. We're on the 32.5-minute mark of this second term. There's Nathan Burke on the left boot. Again, over the line, out of bounds on the full. And free kick to be taken by Gavin Brown, the Collingwood captain. Right half back for the Pies. Just under 2 minutes left in the term. Shawble. It's the Saints by 21 points. As the game settles for a moment. It's been hard and fast. Some tough hits. 2 stretches. A couple of big hip and shoulders. Over the top, we've got Williams with pace. Maybe run down by Jones. Williams unable to get the ball. Jones drives him into the mud. Stephen Patterson onto the left boot. Kicks wide. He's got the big monkey. He can go on if he likes, but he decides, I'll sit back and make sure of this one. He's only about 30 metres out from goal. Slight angle.
Really not sure why Paul Williams wouldn't have got a free kick there. I thought he was interfered with. Well, he didn't have the footy.
100%.
You're not allowed to push anyone in the back.
Unbelievable.
He's actually just querying Chris Mitchell at the moment, I think.
Damien Monkhorst looking to put the Pies 15 points behind, but they're only 20 points behind now with that misdirected kick. Yes, Monkey, we agree.
Look at that tuft of hair, Robbo, will you?
Interesting haircut, isn't it? Damien Monkhorst. There was an article in the daily papers, I think it might have been last Saturday actually. He is a terrific person, I would suggest. Sharky, dispossessed, well done by Aussie Jones. Now that's the sort of football that St Kilda players and fans can applaud, because he just showed a lot of persistence there. Robert Neal is in strife.
He clashed with David Sierakowski, clashed of heads, I think, and Sierakowski's okay. Robert Neal not so good.
So another player in a strife as a result of a heavy collision.
Well, knowing the thickness of Sierakowski's head, Robbo, that would really hurt Robbie Neal.
Sierakowski there, Neal, well, we didn't quite see.
No.
Sierakowski was on the ground as Neal fell, but play goes on. This is Burns for Collingwood. His kick will land close to the line. Knocked back to the square. Williams will get there. Oh, terrific stuff by St Kilda's David Sierakowski to desperately dive on the football. You would think that maybe, is there a score in this passage of play? The goal umpire has gone back. Umpire Chris Mitchell has signalled that it is the end of the quarter. That's Robert Neal, unfortunately for St Kilda fans, still in a lot of strife. The siren has sounded to end the second term. At half-time, Collingwood lead their 8-3-51. Sorry, St Kilda lead. They're 8-3-51. Collingwood are 4-7-31. And for the third time in the quarter, we see the stretcher out. Jason Daniels through a heavy collision with Alex McDonald. Mark Richardson with a knee injury. And now Robert Neal. A clash that we didn't quite see the finish of. St Kilda players would be reasonably pleased with their first half. They have the advantage over Collingwood at half-time. And Ross, Collingwood perhaps with the job in front of them. Mark Richardson perhaps not to come back on the ground.
Yes, and it just shows you, we see Robert Neal getting picked up to be taken from the ground. So important was that first quarter for St Kilda, where they kicked 6 goals to 2. And as Robbo mentioned, just 2 each in this second quarter. So they've held Collingwood pretty well. They just seem to have a bit more of the momentum going for them.
So at half-time, St Kilda lead by 20 points. We'll have another look at this incident with Robert Neal.
That's Sierakowski there. He just gets interfered. So he goes to ground. Robbie Neal comes from his left over the top. Wasn't a clash of heads. He caught one from Stephen Pitt.
Yeah, got his back. I think his back or his back of his arm.
So an accidental blow there from Collingwood's Stephen Pitt on Robert Neal. And this is the end result. Neal being stretchered to the rooms. So there'll be some plenty of work for the medical staff at half-time, which sees St Kilda with the advantage of 20 points. They're 8-3, Collingwood 4-7.
Actually, that's what they said in one of those bits where I think that one of those questions and answer thing, what's most the feature of your body you dislike the most? And he said, my bull bar. And a couple of my kids said, what does he mean by his bull bar?
All the boys give it to him. It's his bone that just juts out, very Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal. Rob Harvey we're talking about, Mel.
Well, do you ever?
Close up of Rob Harvey's bull bar.
Just clearing the nasal passages. Yeah. It's a beautiful flying. Yes. It's his third. It's also his 300th goal, the Big South. TF going for the L. Yes.
So the second half about to start here at Waverley. St Kilda have an advantage of 20 points at half-time, but the Saints are down to probably 19 men. Russell Morris, you went down to the rooms at half-time. What can you tell the viewers?
Well, Jason Daniels is not in real good shape, Robbo. He's can't remember the first half of the game, and Robbie Neal, he was being looked at by the St John's ambulance, so it doesn't look good for St Kilda. Rob Harvey seems to be okay. He was felled heavily by fair Gavin Krasiska's shirt front. But he's got a big bull bar on the front of his head, Rob Harvey.
It's like a four-wheel drive, isn't it?
It's a big bone across the top of his forehead. It's very, very strong.
He'll be happy with that.
So when the players were positioned to start the third quarter, we saw Shane Wakeland, the single St Kilda interchange player, going to the bench. Harvey not able to break clear. Gavin Brown, Scott Burns kicked out of there by Shawbull. Bounces just inside the line, so a boundary throw in. Right half forward for the Saints, about 60 metres from their goal.
And also, Robbo, Mark Richardson not looking good. I think he might have a strained medial ligament, so not good.
Bad luck,
not good news for Collingwood.
Rob Harvey's copped another one on the scone.
Well, we're on the half forward flank for St Kilda as Stewie Lowe gets a left hand to it, trying to bring it back into the corridor. Sharkey picks up the slippery ball off the turf. Nathan Burke now a chance. Well tackled by Francis. Matthew Young, St Kilda's best, has had plenty of the ball today. Drives it up inside 50, over the top of James and Beveridge. Out of bounds. Matthew Young, 16 kicks and 5 handballs in that first half, Ross. 21 possessions.
Yeah, he's a real worker. I reckon he uses the ball pretty well too.
Excellent disposal. And a great acquisition from Hawthorn. We had a pretty heavy downfall of rain here at half-time. The McDonald's Little League was struggling a bit with the slippery ball. As Peter Everett sees it over the line again. Not a lot happening here in the third term. It's the Saints by 20 points. There's Tony Brown. Kicked a goal for St Kilda in the first term. Everett and Monkhorst. A lot of wrestling going on in the first half. Very emotional first half. 3 stretcher cases in that second quarter as the ball again goes out of bounds. Robbo, see what you can do. Help me out of this one.
Well, it's about 55 metres from St Kilda's goal. The Saints with a 20-point advantage. You would think if Collingwood are to be any chance, come three-quarter time, they would probably have to get at least a goal, kicking to the right-hand end, and maybe hold the Saints up to just 2 goals going down with the breeze. But there's a chance here for St Kilda. Lowe, the tackle there, not too bad by Stuart Lowe on Andrew Shawbull, and the umpire will throw it in the air about 35 metres, maybe a little closer from the St Kilda goal. The ruckman to go at it. Everett gets a good punch to it. Lowe couldn't control the footy. Shawbull tried to hack it out of the air. Prestigiacomo kicks it back towards the centre. It's gathered. No, it's not quite. Yes, it is by Harvey. Harvey from 35 metres, way offline and out of bounds on the full. So the free kick to be taken in the left back pocket for Collingwood. Not by Andrew Shawbull, but by Brett James. Short kick has been marked by Burns. Still in their defensive 50-metre area. Scott Burns for the Magpies. Collingwood have only had 2 goal kickers Lee Walker and Sav Rocker with 2 apiece. Burns to kick it out towards half-back. Good mark taken out there by Vidovic. Looks to play on it. Krasiska's given away 50 metres.
Yes, Gavin Krasiska trying to say that he thought that Vidovic went to handball.
Gee
This
whiz,
should be
it's a generous 50 metres too. Brought the ball up to within 15 metres of goal. And Krasiska having a heated discussion there with umpire Darren McCauley as Vidovic prepares to kick the Saints' 9th goal, and he's hit the post. So justice prevails. Vidovic, first score, are behind. And St Kilda's first score of the 3rd term, 8-4 to 4-7.
Be interesting to see how Stewie Lowe goes in these wet conditions. The other night against North, very heavy and slippery conditions. He didn't score a goal and found it difficult to take a mark in the big hands. It's Jamie Elliott now at outside 50. Trying to direct the ball to Winmar, but under these conditions, they've got to adjust their skills. Keep the ball closer to the leg, guide it onto the foot. There'll be more chest marks, maybe limit the handballs down in the wet conditions, Ross.
Fair call.
Throw in Markhurst using the body well. Off the ground by Harvey. Prestigiacomo cutting out the path of Tony Brown, and again slides in and puts the ball over the line. Out of bounds. Not a lot happening. 5.5 minutes into the 3rd term. Only one score, Laser Vidovic hitting the post. Punch over the back from Monkhorst. Now it's Williams' turn. Clever stuff, keeping it in play. Francis in front of Nathan Burke. Williams again back into the fray. Aussie Jones now has a chance. Putting it up forward, Lowy behind Shawble, has to punch the ball. Prestigiacomo throws it on the left boot and finds Paul Sharkey on halfback for the Collingwood side.
Sharkey goes across the 50-metre defensive line and finds Brett James. James's left foot kick out into the path of Shawble. Maybe beaten on this occasion by Winmar. Winmar trying to spin back onto his left foot. Umpire gives the all clear for a boundary throw in centre wing.
Wasn't that clever by, sorry, Robbo?
God.
By Winmar just to tap that ball past the Collingwood player and then follow up and try and get it again.
Well, I guess
The skills he does have.
with the rain that's fallen at half-time, and it looks as though it's abated slightly at the moment, but it's just going to make it that little bit more difficult for the players to contend with. Russell's kick across his left shoulder will land close to centre half forward. Diving after it was Bardsley. So too was Burns. Gathered there by Armat. Gets the handball to Buckley. Buckley's left foot kick in towards full forward. Walker. Is he being held on to? Collingwood supporters think so. The umpire says I'm having nothing of that and gives the all clear for a boundary throw in 50 metres from the Collingwood goal. Jumper being held. Still being held by the left hand, and nothing happening for Lee Walker. It's probably a little bit further. It's maybe closer to 60 metres from the Collingwood goal. Vidovic, a big left fist to it. Out for Matthew Young. Just slips that. Like Houdini, got out of that strife, but put it on the chest of Gavin Brown on centre wing.
Current Collingwood captain, premiership player. Gavin Brown's been struggling with form early in the season, but the last few weeks he's got back into it. Umpire Sheehan calls play on as he went off the line. Buckley unable to take the mark, the slippery ball. Round the corner from Jones, now back to Brown again, well followed up. Handball off to Russell. To Crow now, Collingwood looking to set something up. They go right across the ground. Robbie Armat and a foot race with Nicky Winmar. Armat has about 10 metres, but Winmar puts enough to put pressure on. Lee Walker with the outstretched arms. Excellent coverage in front of Sirakoski. Plays on quickly. He's got Scotty Burns on his own. Patterson it is, but the ball beats them all over the line for one behind. Stephen Patterson spent a bit of time on the bench in the first term.
We've got to take the ball back now, Russ.
Umpire Brian Sheehan saying that if umpires' flags are still waving as Nathan Burke kicked the ball out from goal. Now Burke has Shanahan on his own, but he ignores him and has Aussie Jones, but well intercepted by Paul Sharkey, the late inclusion for the Pies today, replacing Robert Pyman. Excellent punch. St Kilda right half forward.
Probably Aussie Jones would have been better advised to maybe attack that football.
Yeah, just try and get his body between the ball and the oncoming player, Robbo. I agree with you.
A real struggle for possession underneath there, and the umpire can do nothing more than bounce, maybe throw it in the air. A lot of discussion over whether a ball should be bounced by a central umpire. Roscoe, you got any thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it should be. I mean, it's an art of the game.
Jamie Elliott squeezes a kick out, goes out towards the wing, gathered by Joel Smith. He's very lackadaisical in some things he does, Joel Smith. I think he's got a lot of talent. That's a blatant free kick against McLaren, and it will be taken by Prestigiacomo. He's on centre wing, just 18 years of age, one of the high draft choices in the national draft late last year, picked up very quickly by Collingwood. Very prominent young player in the under-18 competition. The kick nearly with Vidovic, gets the handball out to Young, gets another possession, kicks it back towards the centre of the ground. That awkward bouncing ball make it difficult for Crowe. Gets the handball back, maybe the advantage with Collingwood. James runs away, kicks it towards the centre of the ground. It's taken by Burns. They can mount something here. Burns' kick has been marked by Sharkey. Sharkey 50 metres from goal. He's being asked to play on. He kicks quickly. Has that gone the required distance? It must have only just. And Burns gets another kick in a passage of play that has seen Collingwood get the ball from centre wing through Simon Prestigiacomo, and it's with Scott Burns now at centre half forward. He goes short. It's all right because he gives it to a man who will kick the distance, Nathan Buckley, from about 40 metres. Magnificent kick of the football is Nathan Buckley. Possession's not big. And in the context of the game, you would have to think that if he could kick a goal here, Collingwood would be certainly in with a big chance of getting over the top of the Saints come three-quarter time. Buckley's kick fades away to the right and hits the post. So bad luck for the Magpies. Nathan Buckley's first score of the day is a behind. 4-9 to 8-4. Missed chances in the second term have cost Collingwood very much so. The kick in, gathered by Brown to Francis, quickly to Burns. Williams slips over. It's at centre half forward for the Magpies. Harvey can't quite get through, gets his right foot to it. It bounces awkwardly, but Sirakoski gathers. Now Bardsley, back he goes to Jones. Jones, oh gee, was rather fortunate there that that bounce of the ball came back to him. Everett, now Krasiska for Collingwood. Handball away to Crowe, and the Collingwood boys will go into attack.
Crowe to relieve pressure, finding Scotty Burns in the centre of the ground. They do it well, they can change direction. They've got Sharkey on his own on the half forward. Finds him, he's got the running Francis in front of him, and also Buckley. Buckley's the one. Pointing to the mark as Zilla tries to gain a couple of metres.
Well, you can't umpire as well, Nathan Buckley.
Well, he can try.
Well, why pinpoint that? Why don't you point to the goal square? You're going to pinch a yard, pinch 15.
Nathan Buckley just missed hitting the post only a moment ago. Normally a very good kick for goal. Saw him kick 3 against Footscray last week. He's got 28 goals, 13 to his name for the season. Now looks like it's 28-14. He's very hard on himself, Ross. He's
yes, I mean, well, consecutive points like that, Russ. I mean, he's been a fair way out on both occasions, but he would have, as you say, expected himself to kick those. Would have made a big difference to his side's total too.
Matthew Young, the kick out from goal, puts his teammates under pressure. Jason Wild now to Buckley. Here's a chance to show us what you're made of, Bucks. And he does. It's through. He puffs the chest out. What a great reply from Nathan Buckley.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
It's very prophetic, Robbo. But certainly it's unusual that a player has 3 consecutive shots at goal in such a short passage of play. It's just the way it's worked, and probably prefers a shot on the run rather than the set shot. Good kick.
Well, it certainly put Collingwood right into this match. at certain stages you would have thought St Kilda had complete control. Now the bounce is with Vidovic. Gets his left fist to it, punches it wide. The race is on. The gather was very well done by Smith, but he handballed. Missed his teammate, Weil for Collingwood. Then Krasiska, now Francis. He's in the middle of the ground, could be run down by Burke. Left foot kick, punched away by Bardsley, back towards the middle. Gatherers by Burns, Vidovic let him through. Burns able to get the kick away, it'll land at half forward. Oh, nearly a top effort by Walker. Gee, nearly could have been paid. Zilla back to Matthew Young. Saints out of trouble, may go down the ground. The ball is wide to the advantage of Smith, but he's not able to control. And he takes it over for a boundary throw.
Yeah, I thought Lee Walker might have even got a free kick there, Robbo.
Well, it wasn't a bad effort in the marking contest.
Goes down, then he's just pulled to the ground. Oh, it's play on, fair enough. First instance, I thought maybe a free kick.
Boundary throw in, centre wing, out of side, Vidovic. Monkhorst just gets him out of the road. Little kick by Harvey. Now Nathan Burke. His kick lands close to half forward. Burns gets back for Collingwood. Takes it over for another throw in. But a lot closer to the St Kilda 50-metre line, so it's about 70 metres round from the Saints' goal. Scott Burns, very honest defender for Collingwood. 12 possessions. About 70 metres round from St Kilda's goal. And Stuart Lowe now being asked to do the ruck work. Up against him is Andrew Shawbull. Lowe takes it out of the air. Kicks to within goal-scoring distance for the Saints. McLaren can't control the football. Burns strong in the clinches, but his kick goes as far as Lowe, who has taken a safe mark on his chest.
Stewie Lowe kicks from 60. Will fall into the goal square. Robert Harvey off the pack. If he can get his boot to it, he does. Kick looks good. What a great reply from Robert Harvey. 150 games today. Excellent roving work off the pack.
Yes, he hasn't had a big number of touches since probably the early part of the second quarter, but none more valuable in this game than that one there. Just always wanting to keep his feet and make sure when he gets the ball, he uses it to some advantage to his teammate. And again, he showed that.
21 possessions to Harvey. His first goal for the day is St Kilda's 9th, an important one. Difference between the sides now 18 points. Vidovic up high over the top of Monkhorst. Umpire sees that as all clear, but on this occasion he's going to have to ball it up. The contest there between Luke Beveridge and Scott Burns. Nothing coming out of that, so umpire Brian Sheehan is going to persevere by the look of it and bounce the ball. Succeeds. Monkhorst knocks it clear, only as far as Nathan Burke. His kick finishes for St Kilda with Aussie Jones. Aussie Jones plays on and then kicks up towards half forward. Low. Just making his presence felt now as Stuart Lowe. 8 kicks, 8 marks, and that kick finishes with Harvey.
Yes, he just turned quickly, Robbo. He ran towards the goal square, and I think it's Jason Wild who's running with him. Who's on the mark, just assumed that Harvey would continue running to the goal square. He just turned around, ran back into the space.
So Harvey for his second goal within about 3 minutes. Oh, good kick. Very, very well done. Harvey is kicked 2. Beveridge is kicked 2. Lowe is kicked 2 for the Saints. And they kick away to a gain lead by 24 points.
Yes, and they're the 2 goals that Collingwood really wanted at the other end of the ground. Buckley got them one, but they really, when they went inside 50, just couldn't capitalise. Now that St Kilda have gone the other way, they've shared it around very well, and that man's featured prominently.
So Saints by 24 points as Vidovic gets it down to Beveridge. Drives it up forward again. It's wide of 50. Another foot race. Robert Harvey kicked 2 goals in a matter of minutes. Slides over, recovers, tries to dance around James, but tackled well. Collingwood supporters calling for holding the ball, but Scotty Burns has the ability and the poise to alleviate the pressure. Nathan Burke in front of Tony Francis. It's punched clear by Francis, allowing Elliott to Lowe. Back to Nathan Burke, close to the boundary line. Throws it on his boot, but umpire Darren McCauley calls it a free kick.
It's coming back now, the other end to
Stewie
Lowe. Yes. Umpire Darren McCauley saying there was an infringement there.
Stewie Lowe on centre wing, a long way out from goal. Elects to kick long, goes about 50 or 60 metres on the burst. Is Beveridge close to the boundary. You can tell he looked to kick it maybe off the ground, but tried to balance himself. Harvey's grabbed without the ball by Scott Burns. Now it's James close to the boundary line. Beveridge tries it the second time. The ball goes out of bounds, right adjacent to the point post in the St Kilda forward pocket. It was already out of bounds. The boundary umpire called it earlier. Just over 8 minutes remaining in the third term. The Saints by 4 goals. It's Everett and Monkhorst. Monkhorst the better, using his body well, takes it out of the air, throws it on the boot. Shawball unable to grab it. Buckley hits it with the body. Straight in.
Tony Brown, well done. Actually, the ladder at the moment sees St Kilda with 28 points. The team in the 8 is Richmond with 36 points. The percentage difference is something like 18%. If St Kilda are to get into the 8, obviously they have to win today, plus their 4 remaining games, and hope that Richmond drop at least 2, possibly 3 of their last 5.
Vidovic took the mark, offload to Bardsley, put it inside 50. Rob Harvey trying some clever work off the ground. Ball bounces just inside the line, out of bounds.
And Robbo there's run home. That St Kilda's not too bad, actually. Fitzroy, Footscray, both at the Whitten Oval. Hawthorn and Adelaide out here.
Well, they could conceivably win every game, but gee, it's a big ask, isn't it? I mean, the Tigers have they've got 5 matches left. They play Brisbane tomorrow, and then their 4 remaining games, well, you'd think that they'd probably be able to win at least 2 of those, which would make it very difficult for St Kilda. And I think in the paper today, Stan Ells basically said that all we can do is win the matches that we have to play. And at this stage of proceedings, they are doing quite well against their opposition. Monkhorst drops the mark. Winmar tries to get it back to Everett. Everett bashes it close back to the goal line. Shawball gathers and then kicks, and well marked by Brown. He plays on quickly, gets it to Wild, nearly run down, but he got his kick away. McLaren, the St Kilda player, affecting the tackle. This is Brown, handball, missed his target. It's there for Krasiska, gathered by Williams. He runs in, gets onto his right foot, shoots for goal does Paul Williams, but he's offline to the right and scores a behind for the Magpies. And that is Paul Williams' first score for the game. So if Collingwood are to win football matches, usually you see Paul Williams with at least 1 goal against his name.
Yeah, and he's been pretty well held today too, Robbo. Initially by Jack Daniels, who's now off the ground. He's just had 6 and 1.
Matthew Young finds Nathan Burke very close to the boundary line. Matthew Young, one of St Kilda's best today. Excellent effort with 19 kicks and 5 handballs. And Nathan Burke, that's his 15th kick. Now it's Jones off to Shanahan. Gaining some valuable metres, Jamie Shanahan out from full-back, drives it inside 50. Looking for Tony Brown, who's shoved to the ground. Now it's Robert Harvey's turn. He's just kicked 2 quick goals for the Saints in this term. Low, good body, good strength, good control. Could be a miraculous kick across the front of goal. Looking for some magic from Winmar, falls over. It's James and Winmar. Winmar calling for holding the ball as James scoops it out from under his body, close to the boundary line. Excellent effort from both Winmar and James as he gets some advice from the St Kilda runner.
Yes, who's changed for the second half too. Russell Green's been replaced.
Yeah, I saw Russell Green. He hurt his calf muscle. He was in the medical room. They're all falling down. So Russell Jarrett replacing him as runner. As Joel Smith in front of goal throws it on the boot. Just pushed and off balance at the last minute. As Zilla gets back to his feet, chasing Nathan Buckley close to the boundary line. Buckley throws it on the boot. It's a slippery ball. Difficult to control. Krasiska doesn't keep his feet. Stephen Pitdale does now with the long sleeves. Goes inboard to Andrew Shawball.
Shawball has a look downfield, kicks in towards the centre where the mark has been taken by Francis. Francis from the centre of Waverley tries the torpedo punt kick. It wobbles up towards full forward. It's quite simply taken away by Matthew Young. He has mopped up across the half-back line and full-back line with just beautiful precision all day. Beveridge's kick in towards the centre. It's taken by Zilla. His kick will land at centre-half forward, and it's marked by Winmar. Well, Gavin Brown just slipping out of the contest. Winmar has taken the mark about 45 metres out directly in front. Well, Matthew Young has been a terrific example of a sweeper, if you would like to classify him as that. 25 possessions for St Kilda. Winmar kicks for goal and kicks just offline to the right. Through for Winmar's first score of the day, as Krasiska is aided towards the interchange bench and will be replaced down here by Monkhorst.
He's in trouble on the other side of the ground, Rob. I couldn't quite see what happened to him.
Well, he's being helped off by the physio. It's trying to stabilise him as he leaves the ground as Damien Monkhorst gallops onto the field. And that is where the ball is directed to the big monkey, unable to take the mark. Battles on, dives on the ball. Christy Giacomo misses it. Now a chance for Zilla. Well tackled by the Collingwood defenders. James is under there. Schauble and Beveridge. Beveridge straight through the pack, offloads to Stewie Lowe. But the Stewie Lowe kick only finding Scotty Burns deep in that back pocket. Just over 4 minutes left in this third term. At St Kilda by 24 points as Scotty Burns over the top to James. Puts him under a bit of pressure. Now finds the running Scott Crow. Crow wide, has Francis with plenty of room, and Stephen Pitt looking for Pitt now off to Francis. Well followed up by Everett. Good pressure from Everett. And the kick from Francis finding Paul Starkey. Sharky.
That was Ringo Starr,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Ringo Starr.
Oh, what a great effort there by Jamie Shanahan. Just hacked it out of the air and got about 40 metres. That will be referred to as one of the plays of the day. Stephen Pitt's kick towards centre-half forward. Well done by Patterson, good mark. He's in one of the muddy areas of Waverley. Centre-half forward, 50 metres from goal. Probably too far out to score.
Set play again.
So Patterson goes short, and it's all right. The mark has been taken by Williams.
And Vidovic's off for St Kilda. Robbo and Wakeland back on.
Done a pretty good job, Vidovic, against Monkhorst. They've had a great battle all day. Vidovic credited with 7 hit-outs and Monkhorst with 6. Short kick again, and it's with Monkhorst. He's perhaps a little closer, and certainly very much straight in front.
Well, that's intelligent play. He snuck into that vacant 30-metre area with Everett right back on the goal square. He now just has to finish it off.
One of the more experienced players in the Collingwood lineup, Damien Monkhorst, from about 45 metres. And the ball just slips completely off to the side and through for a behind. 2 behinds now for Damien Monkhorst. So Collingwood kicking inaccurately is costing them dearly. 17 shots to 15, but they trail by 23 points.
The Matthew Young kick out from goal finds Nathan Burke. It's his 3rd mark. Jamie Elliott now, left half back for St Kilda. Kicks long, looking for Stewie Lowe. There's a big pack. Joel Smith. Also Robert Harvey, the mercurial Harvey, over to Lowe. Inboard handball, put McLaren under pressure. Now Lowe off the ground, trying to be clever. Kicking into space. Wakeland just come on the ground, replacing Vidovic. As Stephen Pitt and Scott Crow clean up for Collingwood across half back. Tony Francis for Collingwood. Looking for Buckley. Buckley unable to mark the slippery ball, but recovers well. Umpire Brian Sheehan says, Nathan Buckley take the free kick for holding. He's kicked 1 goal, 2, all in this quarter. Maybe goals he should have kicked. The other end of the ground, the other midfielder, dominant midfielder, Robert Harvey, kicking 2 goals in this term. As Bucks kicks long, unable to take the mark as Williams. Harvey off the ground. And that's where the St Kilda defenders like it. More fisticuffs. A lot of emotion. 3 stretcher cases here today.
Had the best chance of all time to describe that part of Robert Harvey's anatomy that you were talking about at the start of the quarter, Russell.
That big bull bar across the top of his head, Robert.
Interestingly, I just went for the statistics for free kicks, and Collingwood have had 14 free kicks awarded to them, 7 to St Kilda.
All depends where you get them and also when you get them, Robbo. As big Rocker gets the big punch, gaining metres. Boundary umpire calls touch the ball coming off Aussie Jones's thigh. Collingwood supporters may be thinking he was out of bounds on the full.
15 kicks and 5 handballs for Nathan Burke, 10 and 7 for Nicky Winmar, 20 and 5 for Young, 13 and 3 for Lowe, 16 and 10 for Harvey. Gee, there's some players with great statistics there for St Kilda. Brilliant gather by Harvey. Handball sets it up for McLaren. McLaren, both players not being forced to change stride, and all of a sudden the ball is on the St Kilda half-forward line. Joel Smith in goes low again. He's in a bit of strife. He was nearly taken away there by Joel Smith, his own player. Shawble's kick back to the middle of the ground. Dropped there by Burns, but he recovers his position quite well. Gets the handball to Prestigiacomo. Trainers out quickly to Stuart Lowe at left half forward for St Kilda. Elliott over the top. Sharky's handball for Francis, and Francis gets the handball away for Brett James. There's Stuart Lowe in picture. The siren has sounded. It is three-quarter time at Waverley, and another St Kilda player is in the hands of the trainers. We've seen Jason Daniels, Robert Neal, and now Stuart Lowe. But the St Kilda side have the ascendancy at three-quarter time. They lead 10-5-65. Collingwood 5-12-42. As Stuart Lowe regains his footing, and we'll have another look at just what happened.
He dives back in and just gets sat on by Stephen Pitt it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now wearing the longer sleeves. And he's okay, which is good news for St Kilda. And that was a very good quarter for them. Kicking 2 goals just to steady the ship there. Collingwood could only just kick the one. They had a few misses, and in fact 5 points for the quarter to Collingwood. So they had their chances getting inside 50, just couldn't capitalise. And there's no question, I think St Kilda just increasing their lead by half-time of 20 points now to 23 points as we see St Kilda 10 goals 5-65, lead Collingwood 5-12-42. Blighty's
St Kilda lead by 23 points at three-quarter time. They've kicked 10-5 to 5-12, and it looks like it could be enough to hang on. Goals have been very much scarce as far as both sides are concerned, and it's been a battle of defences for most of the day. St Kilda through Joel Smith will get the ball up to their full forward line, but the mark is well taken in front of his face there by Prestigiacomo for the Magpies.
The kick looked pretty good off the Joel Smith boot, but Prestigiacomo was the better in front of Everett. His kick is long as Vidovic over the top for the Saints. Offloads quickly to Beveridge, dances around one. High ball in the pocket, Low in front. Stewie Lowe buckets.
She's a great target, isn't he, that big fella? Huh?
Well, if you give him a chance like that, Robbo, he's always going to give you a good contest. And whilst the ball was reasonably high, he was dropping a bit short. Shawble just lost a bit of control of where his footing was and couldn't get back to spoil.
The umpires have brought in a dry ball. The sun's out here at Waverley. It's very cold and windy. It's the Saints by 23 points. Stewie Lowe looking to extend that to 29. Woodwork. St Kilda by 24 points. Stewie Lowe now has 2 goals, 2.
Kick in has been marked down in front of us by Brett James. He plays on and kicks from the 50-metre defensive line. The ball bounces out on the wing. Pitt probably could have kicked it himself, but elected to hand pass to Nathan Buckley. Buckley across his left shoulder. Matthew Young defending grandly for St Kilda. Gets the hand pass in the direction of Zilla. Back to Elliott. Elliott just cramped a little bit as he kicked. The ball will land close to the boundary line, but well marked over the top of Wild by Robert Harvey. Another great game by Robert Harvey for his beloved Saints. His kick really set it up for Beveridge. Well taken by Winmar. Looks to play on. He's been tackled. Everett tries to get it back to him. Gee whiz, what's that deemed as? Handball, throwing or whatever. Allowed to go on by the umpire. Beveridge back to Winmar. Can't quite keep his footing. Taps it into the clear. In strife was Cripps. Away to Joel Smith. He does register a score. It is just a behind for St Kilda.
And if you had it turned the other way, Robbo, which I think Nicky Winmar was saying, he had McLaren on the inside. But obviously missed him.
Good lead up for the Saints, but to no avail. Excellent pressure by the Pies, allowing only one behind. Scott Burns kicks a beautiful 60-metre punt right down in the middle of the ground, finding Schauble on the edge of the square. He's got Scott Crow wide. Elects to find him. Crow trying to sell the dummy to Rob Harvey. He buys it, inboard to Francis. Poor handball from Francis, putting Crow back under pressure. Now it's Buckley from 60 metres. Kicks towards goal in the goal square. Monkhurst, one-on-one, pushing their back against Lazar Vidovic. The big monkey caught behind. Went the shove, and Vidovic, poor kick, finding Stephen Patterson 40 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Yeah, when you come across goals like that, your kick's got to be spot on. He had Nathan Burke in shorter. He went the longer option, and unless you get them, just see Nathan Burke out in the left,
Yeah.
the ball finds the player in between.
Stephen Patterson, quiet day for him. Lining up for his first goal. It's close. The Pies are fired up now. They're back in the game. Jamie Shanahan has a little word in Lazar's ear.
Might just give them a bit of momentum, Russ, as you mentioned. Just a bit of a sniff. Might just lift them up. It's all they need. Collingwood certainly have that fighting spirit. So if St Kilda just drop their concentration for a while, St Kilda could allow Collingwood to get back in.
Low-scoring game, quick goals mean everything. 10-7 to 6-12. So the advantage is with St Kilda, but Collingwood by no means out of this match. Harvey dragged to the ground by Williams. Play allowed to go on. Williams able to recover and gather. Left foot kick towards the 50-metre line. Nearly taken by Buckley. Well done by Zilla. Tries to knock it into the path there of Nathan Burke. He goes in after it again. And there's a real tumble of players there about 60 metres from the Collingwood goal. Stephen Patterson, the Collingwood goal kicker from just a minute or so ago. Umpire will bounce. Up high was Everett. Down to Wild. He's done pretty well. He started on the interchange bench. A high kick. Buckley couldn't take the mark. Robert Harvey, handball over the top to no one in particular. Just a good contest back near the middle where Crow is dispossessed by Everett. Well done. Got it out for McLaren. McLaren's kick was fairly well smothered off the boot. Winmar tries to tap it to the advantage of Brown. Well done by Brown. In turns Smith. Beveridge out in front of Smith. Smith with the left foot goes for goal. Oh, he's a good player. He's a good finisher, that kid. He's kicked 2 goals. He doesn't get much of the football, but there's a bit of class written on that number 4 for St Kilda. He gets the Saints' 11th goal.
Yes, there's a bit of panache about him there. It really is. He has that ability just to stand up straight and use the ball very, very well. Good knock on too by Beveridge, I think it was. Good balance. And Nicky Winmar just lets him know what he thought of it.
It's the Saints by 25 points with that Joel Smith goal. It wasn't the first time we've seen that big number 4 finish off a spectacular goal. Big shoes to fill. The plugger, the ex-St Kilda spearhead.
There was a number 4 a few years ago too that used to do things like that. And his name was Darryl Baldock.
Yeah, the doctor.
And there's not a lot that guy possessed, Darryl Baldock, that this young kid can't follow in his footsteps if he starts to believe in himself, I think.
Well, a lot of pressure to follow that those two players, Robbo. The dock and plugger as Matthew Young battles for the ball, eyes only for it. Paul Williams through the pack, and the Pies are away through the centre of the ground. Kicked up forward towards the 50. Nathan Buckley and Shanahan, they meet each other. Shanahan, the stronger, continues up. Scotty Crow on the bottom of the pack underneath the Joe McLaren tackle. And there's another bounce. Just under 15 minutes remaining in the game. Umpire Brian Sheehan. Distinctive with the number 9 on his back, also with a Dennis Lilly haircut. As Scotty Burns kicks it inside 50. Lee Walker trying to use his body and outgun Sierakowski, but it's Matthew Young again mopping up for St Kilda off half-back. Sensational effort from Young. His stats tell the story. 21 kicks and 7 handballs. Excellent game by the youngster.
Boundary throw in. Right half forward for the Magpies. The goal kicked a few minutes ago by Joel Smith may have snuffed out Collingwood's last chance to win this game. Tony Brown from the half-back line runs down close to the wing and then kicks high in towards half-forward. Lowe, just magnificent presence, Stuart Lowe. Runs on, kicks towards the Winmar direction. He's able to recover, get around onto his left, then back onto his right. Short pass is good, and the mark is taken by Joel Smith.
Was there any difference to the low use of body in that situation to take a mark than what Shanahan used at the other end of the ground in that earlier quarter against Rocker? Anyway, it's just a...
I think that you, as a not exceptionally tall person, can appreciate the person who uses their body in their marking contest, and it's fair enough, I think.
It's a skill of the game.
Of course it is. Joel Smith's kick, he lets himself down a little, and his body language does tell you a fair bit. Joel Smith, just disappointing that result, 11-8 to 6-12. So still the ascendancy with the Saints. They lead by 26 points as Burns prepares to kick in for the Magpies. 13 minutes left in the last quarter.
Burns looking for the Gavin Brown option. He has the run and the jump on Winmar. Discipline prevails. The big punch, not allowing Winmar any opportunity of marking that ball. Right half forward for the Saints. Throw in. It's Low. Prestige Como. Burns, the better of the lot. Has to spin around, do a U-turn, throws it on the boot. Centre wing. Big bucks. Big handball. Off to Wild. The Wild man kicks wide, finding Lee Walker on the slide. Walker looking to play on quickly. The Pies have only got 12.5 minutes left in this term to narrow a 26-point margin. Walker kicks it long and it'll land in the square. The big pack, it's Rocker! Excellent mark under these conditions.
Yes, and he kicks this. Russell will be his 300th career goal.
Thanks, Roscoe.
Just a bit of trivia there for you. Good mark though by Rockers. He spent most of his quarter on the ruck with Monkhorst at full forward.
Directly in front. 300 to Rocker.
Yeah, so he's been well held initially, Russ, by Jamie Shanahan. And as I mentioned before, now finding himself in the ruck in this last quarter.
And more importantly, Collingwood's 7th goal.
Well, each time that they've been able to make a bit of a surge at St Kilda, it appears as though the Saints have had the answers. They haven't been able to really get a succession of goals. There's a free kick here, and it looks as though it may be going to Collingwood. Another infringement for the centre square, and it's just thumped forward by Rocker in the direction of Monkhorst. He's able to recover, get the hand pass away. Robbie Armack snaps across his body, knocked away by Shanahan. Well done, forced over for a throw-in.
That infringement, Robbo, is actually against Robert Harvey. They had 5 in the square, so he didn't get out quickly enough.
Jamie Shanahan, a disciplined performance once again. Rocker has kicked 3 goals, but it looks as though Rocker may be having a bit of a run on the ball at the moment. with Monkhorst down at full forward. Walker perhaps doing the ruck work here. No. Vidovic up against Monkhorst. Gathered by Williams. Kick didn't go all that far. Gathered by Francis. Snapshot by Tony Francis. Is a goal to the Magpies. Well, it's been his first real chance to score today, Tony Francis. And it really was a great goal. And back in with a chance of the Pies. It's St Kilda 11-8-74, leading Collingwood 8-12-60. The margin is just 14 points.
He's had a fair bit of the footy, Robbo, but he's not a renowned goal scorer. Just 13 so far this season, and in his 8 games last year, just the 3 goals. So doesn't really kick big bags, but it's a very important one for his side.
Well, 30,000 screaming fans. We'll see now Collingwood only 14 points the difference. Stewie Lowe gets one out of the air. St Kilda need another one. The pressure's on. The Pies have got a bit of a run on. 2 quick ones. One from Rocker, one from Francis. As Brett James cleans up, gives it to Scott Burns, close to the boundary line. Centre wing, Matthew Young. Best on ground for St Kilda. Straight at the ball is Nathan Burke. Centre wing. 11 minutes remaining. Collingwood get another one. It's very tight. There's Peter Everett and Simon Prestigiacomo, 2 youngsters. Everett from Hastings and Prestigiacomo from the Northern Knights. A couple of premierships with the under-18 squad. Everett with a big punch. Prestigiacomo from ground level. Now it's off the ground from Sharkey. Valuable metres. Another throw in midway, centre wing and half forward for Collingwood. There's Nathan Buckley looking for an advantage in front of Zilla. Big Bucks, that's what they'll be calling him if he goes to Port Power. The big punch goes into the corridor, Sharkey off the ground. Excellent shepherd from Sharkey, allowing Burns, but Bardsley putting the tackle on him.
Burns has been pretty good for Collingwood. He's had 15 kicks and 4 hand passes, taken 6 marks, affected 1 tackle, just been a good honest worker again.
As umpire Brian Sheehan throws the ball up. It's Everett in the ruck, gets it down to Harvey, another possession, the left-footed is bouncing towards the boundary line. It's his 18th kick, Harvey. It's Brett James and Beveridge. James the better, clever stuff. There's Burns again, he's caught, he's got his handball though clear. Williams and Beveridge, the players are tired. It's hard and tough stuff. It's pretty wet and slippery. As we've got 10 minutes remaining in the game, it's the Pies by 14 points.
Well, certainly the advantage is with St Kilda. 14-point lead with 10 minutes left. And the boundary umpire to throw it in. It's pretty well on centre wing. And it's going to be a big performance for the Magpies if they're to pinch this game. Kick goes back towards the middle. Bardsley just not able to judge the flight of the ball. He goes in after it again like a little tiger, Christian Bardsley, and just locks it up for the Saints. Centre wing, members side of the ground. Just getting up a little gingerly as he trots back after Robbie Armat. Umpire Sheehan to bounce. Quite close to the sponsor's logo in the background. Down to Aussie Jones, then Nathan Burke. Burke's kick, well done by Beveridge to knock it into the path there of McLaren, was it? And the ball eventually spills over, and Scotty Crowe went down pretty heavily from a
just a contact from Stewie Lowe.
Have another look there, and yes, Crowe being attended to by one of the trainers. He looks to be okay. Everett up high, gets his right fist to it. Gavin, Crowe it was, underneath. Burns again, kicks it back close to the wing for the Magpies. Attacking it with ferocity was Zilla. Zilla, just a mongrel punt kick to half forward. Everett, out in front of Prestigiacomo, has taken a good chest mark about 45 metres out, and a chance to kick St Kilda's 12th goal.
Well, he hasn't had much of the footy today, just 3 and 2. This will be his 4th kick, but well, judge marked that because it was a real up and under by Zilla.
I think Ron Barassi refers to them as Wanganui punt kicks. Come from the wilds of anywhere. Everett's kick is offline. Through for a behind, but from a St Kilda point of view, down on their full forward line, and they lead 11-9 to 8-12, so that's a 15-point margin. Collingwood need to kick 3 unanswered goals to snatch this game in about 8.5 minutes.
Scott Burns again elected to kick up the ground. 60 metres it goes. Excellent punch from low. Gaining 40. Gavin Brown on the burst. Throws it on the boot. Kicks it into space. Nathan Burke's got a bit of time. Bends his back. Twists it round his body looking for Harvey. Both sides struggling with injury. St Kilda having Robbie Neal and Jason Daniels won't returning for the ground. They're both stretchered and suffering from concussion with Gavin Krasiska. Looked like it might have been a bit of a back injury or a groin or something. And Mark Richardson with a suspected strained medial ligament. He's low again, gets it down to Aussie Jones. Has to go around the corner again, kicks it high. Stephen Pitt unable to mark. Francis juggling. Brett James driven into the ground by Nathan Burke as he was juggling the ball. And then he's not happy about it. He throws the ball back to umpire Macaulay. Settle down, son, he says. Umpire Macaulay will bounce it in the mud. Over the top was Shawble. Now it's a chance for Joel Smith. Didn't get a kind bounce. Beveridge and James saw it over the line. 7.5 minutes remaining in the game. It's the Saints by 15 points. As Everett and Prestige Como again will battle out. Everett it is, gets control. Aussie Jones off the ground, out of bounds on the full. Collingwood free kick. Left half back.
Aussie Jones with 11 kicks. He's been credited with a kick there and 4 hand passes. He has been serviceable. He's had a job back in the defensive end of the ground as far as St Kilda are concerned, which has probably been a new role for him. Winmar, sweeping hand pass, sets it up for Harvey. Harvey just hangs onto it long enough, maybe to see a player on his own, and that's Jones. Jones for St Kilda is between wing and right half forward. His kick will land close to the 50-metre line. Punched away there by Pitt, gathered by James. In trouble, Shawble, gathered by Lowe. Lowe, very disciplined kick to the front of the square, should be marked. It is by Everett. He can go over the top to Smith and make an absolute certainty of it. Turned his back on the play.
Yeah, just a pet hate of mine, Robert. Doesn't matter where you are, always turn around quickly when you're in front of goal. Turn your back on it, you miss opportunities like that.
So Everett, from only 20 metres out directly in front, will just about end Collingwood's challenge, you would think. Everett's kick 2. So for St Kilda, 5 players have kicked 2 goals. Joel Smith, Peter Everett, Stuart Lowe, Luke Beveridge and Robert Harvey. And it has just been their ability to get those extra couple of kicks up forward that they've capitalised on and kicked goals, whereas the Magpies may have just wasted a few opportunities, particularly in the first half.
The Spider Everett goal putting the Saints 21 points up. 6.5 minutes to go in the term and the game. Aussie Jones over the top. Scotty Burns and Jason Wild, it is in the mud. Umpire Brian Sheehan will bounce it, throw it up at true centre half forward for St Kilda. Everett gets it down to Zilla. Joel Smith on his left boot. In front of the Stewie Lowe is Prestige Como. Now it's Scott Crow under pressure. Elects to kick it out of mid-air. Go for the boundary line. Where have I heard that before, Ross?
The late E.J. Whitten, was it?
Correct. Famous call. See Robbie Harvey and Scott Crow. Rob Harvey, no matter how tight you play against him, will always get possessions. He has 32 so far today. Nathan Buckley off the ground, off half back. Nathan Burke leading the chase in front of Francis. Misdirected handball, allowing Francis to follow up. Toe post along the ground. Big shirt front from Sirakoski. Oh! And a nice little uppercut to Tony Francis.
Was the umpire watching? Golly! You have to have been watching that. Certainly, I thought it was a free kick to Sirakoski. But, blimey down. Anyway, play goes on, Russell.
Nathan Burke gives it off to Robert Harvey. I'm speechless, Robbo.
Oh, dear me. Oh, McLaren nearly taken to the ground. Everett gets the hand pass away. It lands in a vacant area. Joel Smith, brilliant gather, then gives the hand pass away. Kick forward then by McLaren up towards half forward, taken by Brown for Collingwood. Gavin Brown runs away and kicks it back in towards the middle. It's knocked away by Sirakoski. In towards Everett. Kicked away by Wild, only as far as Nathan Burke. His vision is magnificent. He finds Winmar, can go all the way, Nicky Winmar. If he can get past, he's trying very, very hard to get past Lee Walker. His kick is very much a very ordinary one. Prestigiacomo for Gavin Brown. Gavin Brown now for the Magpies. He's still got the football, 50 metres defensive. Kicks in towards the centre and the mark is taken by Scott Burns, probably Collingwood's best player. Scotty Burns for the Magpies, right in the middle of Waverley. 4.5 minutes left in the game. Burns goes wide, looks out there for Buckley. Good mark in front of Young. That should be 50 metres. He's taken a clean mark and he's been dragged to the ground to stop him from playing on. Nothing happening from the umpire. Buckley's kicked towards the front of the goals. Punched away defensively again by Vidovic. He's been quite diligent as far as that is concerned. Shanahan's kick goes a little too far. His idea perhaps was the right one, but his kick just a little too far and out of bounds on the full. The free kick to be taken by Paul Williams.
Paul Williams from 45 metres. Has a ping at the big ones. Looks pretty good. That's his first. 1-3 for the day. And puts St.Kilda, or narrows the margin to just 15 points. So the Pies still in it. Just under 4 minutes left in this final term.
Paul Williams' first goal coming late in the game. He is a renowned goal kicker for the Magpies. So you can see the time remaining in the game. Everett gets his left hand to it. It'll be taken away by Crow. Handball is good to Buckley. He's very good off either foot. This left foot kick gets 50 metres up towards the goal front. Robbie Ahmad unselfishly. In goes Patterson. He's got a quick one for the Maggies. It's only 9 points, is it? Or is he? It's a goal. 2 goals to Patterson. He started on the bench, spent nearly the first half on the bench, did Stephen Patterson. And he's kicked 2 goals. He's second to bring the Magpies back to within 9 points, and we've still got 3.5 minutes left.
And I wonder, Robert, whether you just sense some of the St Kilda players thinking they had this game under control. But Collingwood certainly do persist, and they've still got time.
Umpire Mitchell bounces the ball. We've got a great game in our hands now. St Kilda by 9 points. They've led all day. And there's been a free kick to Collingwood.
Throwing against Zilla.
Tony Francis will take that in the centre of the ground. Plays on quickly, goes wide. He's got Crow, can't mark. It's now Everett with the ball, off to Winmar on centre wing. He's got plenty of time, elects to try and put the ball on the wet turf. The worm burner, looking for Beveridge, unable to take the mark. Clever swoop out by Beveridge. Desperation by Scott Crow for Collingwood. And they've called holding the ball and Mitchell's given it.
Gee, that's red hot.
Well, he dived on the ball, Robbo. No attempt. Free kick to Luke Beveridge, 60 metres out from goal. Scotty Crow's letting umpire Mitchell know just exactly how he feels.
Hung, drawn and quartered.
Beveridge goes in towards the pocket looking for Stewie Lowe. Interception from Brown, unable to take the mark. Prestigiacomo, quick kick, and it was Sharkey it was. And James, not in a real hurry to keep that one in play.
Probably, I think it was when the free kick was given against Zilla at the centre bounce. And I think maybe Tony Francis that took the kick, and his kick probably didn't have the right direction or the penetration if Collingwood were to win this match.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Robert.
I think he kicked it to Williams, who had about 3 or 4 players on him. And Scott Crowe burst through the pack. Now it's the Pies off to Gavin Brown, who's caught by Winmar, but Brown has handballed the ball. It's play on Shawball now out of halfback for Collingwood. They need to move it quickly. Just over 2 minutes left in the term and the game. Buckley chips it wide to Francis on centre wing.
Francis back onto his left foot, kicks into the middle of the ground. Buckley leaves it behind, but Walker is there to help him out. Hand pass to Prestigiacomo. Short kick into the pocket. Too high, knocked away there by Young. Back into the front of the goals. Burns, he'll cap off a brilliant game. His kick falls short. Patterson again. He's dogged it, I think. 3 points. Wild it was that kicked the goal.
Certainly looked like Patterson, Robbo. I was with you.
I think it was Patterson, Robbo, number 6. We can have a look at it.
Well, that's Wild getting the hand pass out. Maybe the congratulations were for Wild, but it certainly was kicked by Patterson. Yep. 3 goals to that player, and it is a 3-point game with under 2 minutes left.
The Collingwood army are going crazy here at Waverley Park. The Pies have reduced the margin to 3 points, just over a minute and a half left in the term. The Shawball kicks it out of the centre of the ground, looking for a favourable bounce as Walker gives away metres. Tony Francis is amongst it. Sirakoski offloads to Winmar, gets a quick kick. It's wide. It's a foot race. It's Vidovic and Sharkey. Sharkey gets it onto his left boot, but only finds Aussie Jones. Apologies to Sharkey. Prestigiacomo it was. Off half-back, Jones chips in short. He's got Zilla. Over to Harvey. Dances around a couple. But it's stolen by Wild. Inboard again to Prestigiacomo. Throws it on the boot. Out of bounds on the full.
Very tired, aren't they, those players?
Bit of experience, Robbo.
Under a minute left now, Russell.
Aussie Jones will take his time as we see Shane Wakeland just about to come on the ground to replace. I'm not too sure as Aussie Jones dances around Wild. Now elects to kick long, looking for Everett in front of the pack. Rocket spoils. Shawball now clever, only to Harvey. Harvey kicks it up towards goal. The bounce looks pretty good. That's a great goal by Robbie Harvey. What an absolute sensation.
That's class, isn't it, Russ? Absolute class.
150 games today. Robbie Harvey just may have saved the game for the Saints.
Just watch this. The spoil comes from behind. Everett can't quite keep hold of it. And the ball's tapped out by Shawball, is it?
Yep.
Can't find the boundary line. And Robert Harvey, you are a genius.
So with 37 seconds left, that goal kicked by Robert Harvey, he's kicked 3 for the day. He's had 34 possessions, would nearly cap off a BOG performance. Beveridge and Wild, still Beveridge, forces it close to the line. Jason Wild, well, he looks a tired man, as do most of the players. Energy sapping stuff, this at Waverley. Fairly heavy underfoot, you would think. So the match will be won by St Kilda, but it's been a gallant performance by the Magpies. You would have thought for a better part of the game that the Saints have controlled it. Lowe's kick, bounces close and registers a score. So 2 goals, 3 to Stuart Lowe. And just a formality now for Nathan Buckley. Seconds left in the game. Nathan Buckley will go long. He kicks it straight down the ground. Marking contest. No, it's not. It's bashed forward by Vidovic. Chance again for Harvey. Right on the siren. Is this score going to count? It's bounced through, but the umpire's got his hands in the air. It is not a score because he kicked it just a split second after the siren. So Robert Harvey pretty happy with Stuart Lowe in a St Kilda performance that saw them win this game by 10 points in the finish. Harvey kicked 3 goals, 2 each to Joel Smith, Peter Everett, Stuart Lowe and Luke Beveridge. And for Collingwood, 3 goals each to Stephen Patterson and Sav Rocker, and 2 to Lee Walker. The final score, St Kilda 13-10-88, Collingwood 11-12-78. A titanic struggle between two sides that may be fighting for their 1996 finals chances. St Kilda coming out on top. Roscoe.
Yes, it was pretty tight, Rob. I mean, Collingwood really never gave up. It was just the numbers of St Kilda, and their better players really did play well. As you go through the list, Nathan Burke, 28 touches. Winmar had 23. Stewie Lowe had 18 with 10 marks. Robert Harvey had 35.